7 champions have been crowned this weekend. 1 remains to be crowned. That game upcoming for the Division III title. Farmington Hills Harrison, 2-time defending state champion against Grand Rapids Creston. You see some of the fans on hand. They are here at the Pontiac Silverdome for our 8th and final championship game. Hi again, everyone. I'm Larry Henry along with Stan Edwards. It's been a long afternoon of football. We saw a thriller a short time ago between Detroit Country Day and Muskegon Orchard View that went until almost 8 o'clock with Detroit Country Day pulling the upset, and now we got another great game in a Creston team that's come out of nowhere after 3 straight losing seasons, going up against the perennial team that's here, an 8-time state champion. There you see how the teams got here. Farmington Hills Harrison over Flint Powers, and then Monroe Jefferson, while Creston, Bay City, John Glenn, and then Stevensville, Lakeshore. And here they are battling for the crown, Stan.
Well, Harrington has been here for quite some time before, and I'm quite sure Coach Harrington is not used to being here. Every time you come to a championship game, you're always excited about the time. It seems like it's your first time, so I'm quite sure, just like the first time, this time it's just as exciting.
Well, he's been coaching at Harrison for 30 years. This is the 18th playoff appearance for him. That's over 50%.
That's a tremendous stat there, but he's had a solid program. He's had some tremendous athletes that come from his program, go on to the collegiate level, and some into the NFL. And the job he has done there has been a tremendous job. But not only Coach Harrington has done it, a tremendous coaching staff as well.
And on the other side, well, we have the Polar Bears hand man. That's Sparky McEwen. His team the last several years, how about they had, well, a 2-win season, a 3-win season, a 2-win season. This year they come in 12-1. He's really got those kids believing in what they can do. He built the program from the bottom up. He took the program over 2 weeks before to the start of the season his first year. One of the first things he did, he started study table. Said, to heck with practicing. We're going to study first. Grades are most important. They lost an hour of practice every day, but it's now paid off in the 4th year.
Take your hat off to Sparky McEwen and his coaching staff. That's a tremendous turnaround in anybody's program. You know, for him to come and, again, having kids on the program who've never really won before, for them to buy into the program, as you said, Larry, is a tremendous actually compliment for them and everybody involved.
Well, there you see the quarterback for the Polar Bears. That's Brewster, and he is out there warming up. He's the guy that's got to lead them today, Carlton Brewster. Take a look at that. He will throw the football, and he's also been picked off a few times.
Yes, he has. He's been throwing it a white lie, but 2,500 yards passing in high school, that's a lot of passing yards. So when everybody be keying on Andrew Terry, you better watch out, because Brewster will kill you through the air as well.
They have a 1-2 punch with the arm, and also with the ground game of Drew Terry. He's able to lug the leather well for the Polar Bears. Now you see the team beginning to huddle up and get ready for the kickoff coming up momentarily here at the Silverdome. The fans really getting into it. On the other side, Farmington Hills Harrison, they came up with a quarterback, and that was Lou Hadley, who was a third baseman. And you take a look, John Harrington found him, said he's got a great arm, so let's move him to the other side. There's Drew Terry and what his numbers were for the Polar Bears this year. He has had a phenomenal year, and he's going to need it against Farmington Hills Harrison. You talk to John Harrington, and he says that it's not a vintage team, but not a bad one either.
No, it's not a bad one at all. I tell you what, both these running backs are going to be the ones who's really going to be the key to this ball game. Both senior running backs playing their final game of high school in the Silverdome, and I talked to both of them before the game, and man, both those guys are jacked. So I'm looking for a tremendous ground attack from both ball clubs.
And it will be Grand Rapids Creston kicking off right to left to begin the game to Farmington Hills Harrison. And this game is underway. And they will begin. Let's see where they're going to mark the ball. The Polar Bears.
You can't advance it in high school. It's one of the high school rules.
And on the onside kick, they get it back. Well, Creston a little razzle-dazzle. Scooter Archie coming up with that one. On the opening kickoff, there is the head coach of Creston.
If you're going to start a game off and in a championship game, you've never been there before, you might as well pull all stops. And that's a tremendous play on the very first play of the game. You catch teams napping most of the time. No one expects an onside kick on the first play of the game.
No, you don't. And Creston pulls it off. And, hey, why don't more teams try to do that from time to time? Quarterback in there is Carlton Brewster. We talked about him. He's had several interceptions this year. Going to run it down the line and hands it off. And Well, a great run by Drew Terry. Gain of 9 yards, and well, that's the way to start the game. An onside kick, you recover, and then your first run nets you 9 yards.
Drew Terry right here is a downfield runner. He's what the kind you call running downfield. He spills over. He sees it coming down. Not a whole lot of shake and bake. He sees the hole and run for it right away. He's the kind of guy, when he sees a hole, he gets right through it. Not a whole lot of shake and bake. He's going to get to it and take care of business.
Creston coming in at 12-1. Hand off again to Terry, changes directions, but nowhere to go. He is stacked up and dropped to the ground. Tim Doig comes up to make the stop. Doig is the one that actually saved the game last week for Farmington Hills Harrison. Let's take a look at that offensive starting lineup for Grand Rapids Creston. There you see the front five in front of quarterback Carlton Brewster. Well, the wide outs and the running backs. Joey Rodriguez will be back there in front of Drew Terry. They've got a throwing game and a running game. It'll go to 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 2. Farmington Hills Harrison, a 5-man front. Brewster, inside handoff. The trap play works, and still running with the football is Ahmad Sims. He gets the first down at the 25-yard line before Nick Hall makes the stop. A 17-yard pickup. Go to the 4 wide outs and hand it off with the draw.
Well, as you can see, the 4 wide receivers right here, which leaves this middle open because the safeties are gone. And once the safeties spread out to cover the wide receivers, you pop right through that first layer of tacklers, and you're in the secondary right now. This is one of the best plays to run in the 4 wide set because you spread the defense out and allow the running back to pop in there and get an open field right away.
Well, they go to the 3 wide outs, and back in there is Drew Terry at running back behind Brewster. Brewster stumbles, stays on his feet, rolls right, throws downfield, and caught and knocked out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Catching the football, Leonard Lapham, a 5'11" senior, a 23-yard pickup.
Larry and I hope we talked about both the running backs and how good they were. I mean, look at this athleticism by Carlton Brewster. He throws the ball on the run, on the money. I mean, the kid is not that wide open. He hits him on the run, on the fly. You can see it from the wide angle here, is that he stumbles from under center. A lot of kids aren't used to playing on this AstroTurf, but that's a nice pass right there for a first down and almost a touchdown by Carlton Brewster and the Polar Bears.
And Creston's got to take a timeout. They were shuffling players in and out at 1st and goal at the 2-yard line, and the play clock was running down, so they burn a timeout at the 10-11 mark. Didn't want to take the 5-yard penalty. It just took too long to get everyone set. I like the attitude thus far by the coaching staff of the Polar Bears. This is a Sparky McEwen going out.
Hey, power eye. You guys got to go. Wide outs go. Wide outs go. Wide outs go. Power eye. Here we go. Let me see. We got right here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. Huh? All right, here we go. Listen up. Cut the split down. You got to come out football. We're going to go power eye right. Power eye left. Power eye left, 32 blast. So we're going to trick him. Power eye left, 32 blast. Hey, you got to run out there.
There's Sparky McEwen, and you heard what he said. They're going to go to the power eye formation, and he made sure he had the 11 players on the field and said, wide receivers, get out of here.
He sure did.
1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Hand off to Terry, breaks a tackle, touchdown. Just like that, they went off the right side, out of the power eye formation, and Drew Terry draws first blood for Grand Rapids Creston.
When Coach McEwen went to the huddle, when he said we're going to trick him, this is what he's talking about. When he's talking about tricking, the power eye left. When they generally run it, they run it power eye right, which that's what Farmington has been practicing on. So they switched the formation and ran a play that they haven't been running out of that formation. That's a great job of scouting yourself, knowing what you've been showing your opponents.
Tim Doig had a shot at him early, couldn't get him, and then O'Dean Pringle gets a PAT. And we haven't played 2 minutes, and Grand Rapids Creston leads 7-0 as Drew Terry scores the first touchdown in the Division III final. Well, last game was 39-32. We get a touchdown in the first minute and 53 seconds of this one, with the Polar Bears going on top 7-0. Their opening kickoff, onside kick, which they recovered and went 49 yards for the touchdown. Here's O'Dean Pringle to kick it off, and they're going to squib it again. Farmington Hills Harrison bobbles it, but they cover. They get it with 3 guys down there. Tim Doig is one of them. that helped wrap up the football and hang on to it, but it bounced poorly for a moment. The Michigan High School Athletic Association football finals on Fox Sports Net, brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, marking 50 years of making your future more predictable, and by OmniPoint. Get the phone of the future at OmniPoint now. Wireless takes the next step. The quarterback is Lou Hadley. He's the third baseman on the baseball team. They needed a quarterback. John Herrick had said, I like this kid's arm, so he's the quarterback. Had not played quarterback before. But he's done an excellent job for them this year. Handed off to Kevin Woods. Breaks a couple of tackles out to the 45-yard line. Take a look at Lou Hadley's strong points. How about that strong arm? You got to have a strong arm to play third base. Throws well on the run. Got to do that to play third base. And excellent footwork. Hey, that's a baseball player.
You got a baseball player starting at quarterback in the state championship game. Or
got a lot of guys like that in high school.
Yeah,
they might be on the basketball team, the baseball team, the track team. But he is an athlete, and that's why he's in a quarterback for Farmington Hills Harrison. Hadley, straight drop. Flicks it out to the left side, and it's caught by Agim Shabai. And he'll move it up to about the 47. Let's take a look at the rest of the offense for Farmington Hills Harrison. There you see the front five, anchored in the middle by Amir Trombley. And Tim Doig out there at the tight end. Woods, the big running back for them. Good call. He'll catch a few balls probably before this day is over. Hawks 3rd and 5 now at their own 46-yard line. One count by Hadley. Play action, rolls right, fires downfield. Oh! Doig went up, and as he hit it midair by Joey Rodriguez. Wow, perfect timing, perfect hit.
That absolutely was a perfect hit. I think if the ball had gotten there a little bit sooner, he was open early. But the ball took a while to get there, allowed defensive back to draw on it, and it had an opportunity to play to be on the ball. Off the play action is frozen linebacker. He's open right now, but he takes a few more steps into the secondary, allowed the safety to get a good shot on the ball and get a bone-jarring tackle. Oh, we got a fake here, back to live action.
Fake on that, and here comes Farmington Hills Harrison. And finally making the stop is B.J. Haney, and running with the football, Chris Roberson. He was back in punt formation and grabbed it on the short hike and took off, and they get the first down. Well, hey, why not? Onside for Creston, and now you got a big punt.
Well, Farmington has a couple of tricks up their sleeve as well. On the first play that they have to punt, they throw a pass because no one was covering the Hawk man going down the sideline. So they decide all we need is a few yards for a first down. Let's see how we can get a few yards for a first down and then some.
Brian Nelson, the punter, a nice toss downfield, hitting Chris Roberson. 1st and 10, Farmington Hill Harrison, and they go to the power eye. And off the Woods, cuts it back to the right, and runs into, is it a bevy, a pride, a flock? What do you call a group of polar bears?
I don't know.
Let's take a look at the Creston defense tonight, who's going to have their hands full, it looks like. There's going to be a lot of trickery. There's the front five for them. Only one senior there, Ahmad Sims. The linebackers, the heart and soul of their defense. And their secondary. Scooter Archie, pretty good one back there.
A school of bears, maybe? A school of bears?
Not exactly. We'll have to research that. We'll get our crack Fox Sports Net research department working on that one. Hadley, play action. Fires left side, little too high. Was intended for Brian Nelson, the one who threw the pass downfield a short time ago out of punt formation.
Well, Hadley's showing that third baseman gun that he has right there. Play action off to Woods to the right. And crossing pattern going to the left side. Just a little bit out of the reach. You had him open for a touchdown. Just take a little bit off the ball. I'm quite sure next time you'll pinpoint the pass.
Yeah, Brian Nelson was wide open, got away from the defender, and would have had it been about 2 feet lower. Nelson's 6'2", but he couldn't sky for that one. 3rd down and 8 from the 11-yard line. Creston leading in this one. Hadley will send a man in motion. Back to pass. Going to roll left. Still looking. Takes off, and he had a man open.
Wide open.
Wide open downfield. Chris Roberson had gotten away. No defender picked him up. He was open, and I'm surprised Hadley didn't throw it to him. There was no one within 10 yards of Roberson.
He was wide open. I think a lot of times when you're feeling the rush, sometime a quarterback, and again, Hadley hasn't played for quarterback for quite some time, so maybe he hasn't gotten the feel for how much time he actually has to survey the field. You see him right there at the top. He's kind of out of the picture right now, but when it looked like Hadley had committed to run, everybody had collapsed on him, and everybody had completely forgot about the receiver at the corner of the end zone.
Chris Wong on to kick a field goal. He's a good field goal kicker. Puts it up through the uprights, and Farmington Hills Harrison gets on the scoreboard as the 5'10" senior Wong hits the field goal from 27 yards out. Well, we've played just under 5 minutes, and it's Grand Rapids Creston leading 7-3. Next weekend, it's more state title excitement with all 4 classes of the girls' basketball finals from Mount Pleasant. Coverage begins Saturday at 11 a.m. on Fox Sports Net. Your exclusive television home of MHS AA football and basketball championships. There's Chris Wong, who just kicked the 27-yard field goal. He has hit one from over 50 yards this season. That's a nice weapon to have on your team.
Absolutely, and it may come in handy before this evening is up.
Okay, we've seen an onside kick, a fake punt. Anything else we should be looking for tonight, Stan?
Everything. At this point, everything.
Wong puts his foot into it. Near sidelines, almost bobbled. Terry takes it to the right side, has some running room. Doyle can't grab him. Turns up, goes down the sidelines, and finally forced down on the far sideline, or make that Archie. Kevin Woods comes over to finally knock him out. 17-yard pickup. This is how Grand Rapids Creston got the game started. An onside kick. They recovered. And you take a look. Drew Terry. Well, handed off to the short man across the middle. That's Ahmad Sims. Throw a little football downfield and hand it to Mr. Terry and go into the end zone. That's how Creston scored the TD. Pretty quick. Brewster back to pass. Going to go downfield, goes up. Great defensive play. Believe Agim Shabai was in out there defensively, went up in the air.
Because of where they are, we don't get a chance to see these kids all the time. Nice ball by Brewster, nice tight spiral. The ball was on the money, just a well-defended play by the Hawks. But Carlton Brewster throws a nice soft spiral. Very easy pass to catch.
Yep, that was Agim Shabai going up in the air and knocking that one away. Shabai is just 5'10", and he leapt up well, played great defense. Second down and 10 for the Polar Bears. Handed off to Terry. Being chased by Roberson. Got away from him, but there's the rest of the Hawk defense. And they knock him backwards and lose 3 yards to the 30-yard line. Here's the defensive starters for Farmington Hills Harrison. Playing well right now and out on the football field. See them all lined up and ready to go. There's the defensive line. Connie in there at the nose guard. The linebackers, same play of 5-2, Lucas and Coyle. And there's the secondary. Lou Hadley, the quarterback. He's out there defensively in the secondary. Third down and 12 for Grand Rapids Creston, who leads 7-3. 4 wide receivers. Brewster under pressure, fires on the screen and intercepted. And there goes a flag. Intercepted by the defense of Farmington Hills Harrison. And it was Ryan Coyle coming up with the interception, but now we need to check the flags.
They had a great play called on. They had a middle screen, which is a great play against that defense, particularly when they run in the 4 wide set. It spreaded everything out. Got a chance to find out what the penalty is at.
Yeah, Ryan Cole with the interception, the big linebacker, 6'1" senior.
Yeah. They had a middle screen, but he had someone in his face. And
eligible receiver downfield on the offense. Penalty is declined. Play stands, interception, first down.
He's got his men right open as he was on the middle screen to Terry, but he overthrew Terry and threw the interception straight to the Hawks defender.
So we have our first turnover, I guess you could say, even though the onside kick helped them out. And here they go on offense. Got a field goal last time. Handed off to Kevin Woods to the left side. It's about 4 yards before being stopped out there. Kevin Woods, 5'10", 180 senior. Best runner at the end of last year, strong and fast, and, well, head coach John Harrington said he will need to be this week.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Terrell Davis. He's got a little forward lean when he's going forward with the ball, which gives him a lot of momentum and power. So I notice when he finishes his plays, his head, shoulders are facing the goal line. That's a good opportunity for a runner to get positive yardage.
There you see what the Hawks have done in the first quarter of this season. They're trailing here right now 7-3. Sabine goes in motion for Hadley. Hands it off to the second back through, Kevin Woods. He'll gain a couple of more yards and bring up 3rd down and a long 2. Just a steady drive so far for the Farmington Hills Harrison Hawks. They've been here before, the 2-time defending state champions. A different division this year since we went to divisions instead of classes. Would not have been in the tournament. They had to forfeit a couple of games. We'll talk about that in detail a little later on. Might not have been here had it not been for the new playoff system.
Absolutely.
Hadley sends a man in motion. Play action, rolls left, fires back over the middle, and just off the fingertips threw it a little too high for Brian Nelson, and Nelson was behind the defender.
He was open again, and when Hadley rolled to his left, which being a right-handed quarterback makes it more of a difficult throw, does a play action, taking the counter to Woods coming back. Now he's going against the grain, so to speak, as a throw across his body. It's a very difficult throw for a right-hand quarterback rolling to his left. Got to turn his body back around and make that throw. It's a very difficult throw. But in this kind of game, you want to make that play.
Well, here comes a punt up, we think. Oh, it's going to be a field goal. And again, Wong has hit one from over 50 yards, and this will be a 52-yarder. And they're at the NFL hash mark, which helps. He doesn't have to angle it as much.
Just need to get a good foot on it.
52-yard field goal attempt, and it's going to be a 5-yard penalty on the Polar Bears.
Oh.
They got too anxious. Doesn't matter if you get back. You jump, you're in trouble. And it's 5 yards, and it's a 1st down for Farmington Hills Harrison.
One of the differences in the rule between the high school and college or high school and pro is once you get in that area, once you jump outside in the encroachment area.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Just got a little too excited and jumping across to Mod Sims and drew the 5-yard penalty, and the Hawks get new life.
At a 52-yard field goal, you don't want to jump offside. That's exactly where you want him to kick it from.
Well, the Hawks back in business at the 29-yard line. Pitch back to Woods. He's got blockers. Turns the left corner. Upfield. Finally dragged down, but not until he gets to the 12-yard line. And that is Sims, who jumped off sides moments ago, making the tackle. And it's a pickup of 16 for Woods, who's beginning to rumble.
Watch Woods. He come here, and he's going to sprint out there and then level off upfield. Most good running backs want to make sure when you catch the pitch and you level off, you want to go north and south toward the goal line. He's planting and he's going straight toward the goal line. That's the kind of back you want. Smell that goal line and run north and south. In that case, that's north.
That 5-yard penalty against the Polar Bears may cost them 6 points. Farmington Hills Harrison knocking on the door. And off to Roberson, straight ahead running. He'll get it inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Chris Roberson, a 5'11 junior. Has rushed for 470 yards this season.
Absolutely. If you combine the whole rushing total for the Hawks offense, this is a tremendous stat here. Woods for 1,300, Roberson for 400, Sabai for 269. These guys rush for over 2,000 yards in rushing offense. That's a lot of ground.
Well, they've got the ball now 2nd and 5 inside the 10-yard line. They trail 7-3 here in the opening quarter of the Division III final. Power I behind Hadley. Send a man in motion out of there. Pitch back to Roberson. And blockers will not make it to the 5-yard line, and then is just buried and pushed back. He'll gain 3 yards before being stopped by several of the Polar Bear defenders. Well, Sims is in there again, still trying to atone, and Scooter Archie.
I like the leg action of Roberson. Very quick knee, high stepping. You can tell he's got a lot of speed and a lot of acceleration. But I'm wondering down there if I'm not going to ride the horse I rode in on. I'm not really sure why Kevin Woods is not carrying the ball down there. I don't think he's tired. I mean, he had a big run, but at this point in the season, he should be in great shape. Down there, I'm going to give the ball to Kevin Woods.
He's in there, and he's also got Kent Taylor in front of him at the fullback spot, and Nick Hall lined up in the power I. Woods has got it. Woods has got the first down and takes it to the 2-yard line. First and goal from there for Farmington Hills Harrison. Kevin Woods rushed for 1,315 yards, 19 touchdowns on the year, averaged 6.5 yards per carry. Best runner at the end of last year, strong and fast.
Strong and fast. He gets the ball, he smells the goal line, gets low, get those shoulders and driving forward, almost get into the end zone. You got a first down on the 1-yard line. You got a lot of options right here.
Polar Bears stacking the defensive line. Again, it's a power eye. Hand off to Woods to the left side. Touchdown. Just followed his blockers into the end zone. Leading the way was Kent Taylor. And Woods takes it in, and Farmington Hills Harrison goes on top, 9-7. And remember that 5-yard offsides penalty on the long field goal attempt.
Absolutely. That body lean I talked about with Kevin Woods, you see him right there. He was caught about the 3 or the 2-yard line, and then he leveled off and kept his legs driving. He got right into the end zone. Very strong runner. He doesn't come down off the first hit.
Long for the PAT, and he got it. And now it is 10-7 in favor of Farmington Hills Harrison with 2:01 left. And there's the young man that took it into the end zone, Kevin Woods, getting his 20th touchdown of the season. As Woods just follows his blockers. And Stan, one of the things that he did was he got down low, he bent over, he's short anyway at 5'10", but he just kept that center of gravity low, and guys were going over the top of him trying to stop him.
Yeah, he's been a tremendous runner for them all year long. Did a little gesture at the end of that play. I don't think the referees picked up on that, and actually had one of his players, as you saw at the end of the replay, trying to tell him, no, you can't do that. In the pros, that's a 15-yard penalty.
And to find these days. Kind of crack down in the NFL, and I kind of like that because these young men watch their heroes on Sunday afternoon, and you want them to be role models, and you see all the celebrations and the various gestures, and I think that's good that the NFL has decided, hey, we got to stop this.
That is a good gesture on their part.
You know these guys are camped for the TV on Sunday afternoon watching their favorite team. And Wong to kick it off, we think. We're going to say that probably all night after the onside. Puts it down deep. Caught downfield by Aston Martin and tripped up at the 21-yard line. And that's where Creston goes back on offense with 1:53 left in quarter one.
Goal gun right, 883 wing wheel. Count them up.
Sparky McEwen making the call there on the sidelines. If you think he looks athletic, he is. He was the arena football quarterback for Grand Rapids last year.
On this play here, we're talking about the wing wheel. You're going to watch the inside runner wheel out. Should be a passing play. You got a runners crossing, and we had a wheel route going in behind it.
Brewster rolling right, looks to throw downfield, still on the run, being chased. It breaks one tackle, falls forward, almost lost the football, and gets it to the 26-yard line. He makes 5 yards out of nothing.
The wheel route didn't come open early, so he had a chance to scramble out there and try to get some extra line. When he rolls out, he's looking for his real route, which is the inside route, replacing the outside route. But he gets flushed out of the pocket, so he don't have an opportunity to throw it. He's just got to tuck the ball up under his arm and get as much yard as he possibly can.
Marcus Bencotti, number 21, who's getting chased on the play. They'll go with the 4 wide receivers. They do that a lot. This Grand Rapids Creston.
Let's go.
This time Brewster roll left. Going to fire it downfield, and it's caught. And breaking back inside with the football is Leonard Lapham. Has it all the way to the 33-yard line before Tim Doyle catches up with him and drops him. A long play of 41 yards.
Talking about the nice smooth ball that Brewster throws, and he throws this one on the run. It's a little wobbly there, but he gets there. Lapham makes the play. Good job of not stepping out of bounds. I think if he'd have kept straight upfield, he had a better chance of getting more yards. But big plays have been destroyed tonight for the Polar Bears.
Shabai had stopped, and then he tried to leap high to grab the football. If he kept running, he might have had a shot. But he stopped, maybe thinking that pass was going to be short. end up going inside, and that's Drew Terry. And he'll take it to the 25-yard line and gain 8 yards.
Good strong running by Drew Terry. He's known as an outside runner, but on that play shows he can run between the tackles as well.
Well, we talked about their passing game and the running game of Grand Rapids Creston. These are the numbers on the year. You almost can't get closer than that.
Wow, you can't. Talk about balance.
So you don't know whether they're going to do it by air or by land, and they're equally good at both. Again, that 4 wide receiver set for Brewster. And that'll be the end of the quarter. So we will go to the second quarter, an entertaining first 12 minutes. Farmington Hills Harrison looking for their 3rd straight crown. They lead after 1, 10-7. Welcome back to the Pontiac Silverdome, the Division III Finals. 1 quarter in the books with Farmington Hills Harrison leading. Larry Henry, Stan Edwards upstairs, Jamie Samuelson on the sidelines. 2nd down and 2 for Grand Rapids Creston as we begin the second quarter. Brewster hands it to Terry, bobbled the ball momentarily, has it, he's off to the races, no one's going to grab him, touchdown. He almost fumbled the ball, it was down around his knee, he gathered it in and just took off. 26-yard touchdown run.
Boy, tremendous acceleration by Terry that time. He had guys right in striking distance. They were right on the side of him. He didn't allow anybody to touch him. And again, we talk about him being a downfield runner. He gets the ball, he almost loses it right there, but when he plants and goes upfield, he hits another gear, and it's goodbye.
Dean Pringle on for the PAT. Now that the Polar Bears have regained the lead, almost blocked. He got it through somehow, and we played 8 seconds into quarter 2, and the Polar Bears have regained the lead here. 14-10. Well, we may have another high-scoring affair here at the Silverdome. Don't go away. Hope you're enjoying it on Fox Sports Net. Grand Rapids Creston leading Farmington Hills Harrison 14-10. Both touchdowns by Drew Terry for the Polar Bears. 8 seconds into the second quarter. Great job so far by both teams.
Terry, as always, doing his job on the ground.
Creston will kick it downfield. And heading upfield with the football is Kevin Woods, and takes it to about the 32-yard line. And that's where Farmington Hills Harrison will go on offense. Turn a handy in on the stop. And Farmington Hills Harrison, well, what adjustments are the Polar Bears making? Well, Jamie Samuelson's not been eating hot dogs. He's been listening in on people.
I was, Larry, after that last touchdown. A very frustrated Creston sideline. The defensive coach is telling the defense, you got to get lower on your tackles. So look for the D here to get down and to try to tackle the Harrison ball carriers. Back up to you, Larry.
Now we saw a picture there of Dan McClain, the Detroit Country Day coach. They won their state championship, and Joe D'Angelo will be joining us at halftime, the former coach of Country Day. Woods going to the right side, cuts back to the left, and he'll gain about 6 yards on that first down carry. Both Woods and Terry are running the football well for their respective teams.
We expected that coming in, that these guys would be the ones who would be carrying most of the load for both ball clubs on the ground. And they haven't disappointed us yet. These guys are really running the football.
The official took a timeout. They've sent Tim Doig over the sidelines. And they've sent also over to the sidelines Brad Person, the left tackle. Oh, he's got a little blood, I believe, maybe below the leg. You see him doing the wrap. And the official saw it, so they sent him over to the sideline. So he is out of there on this play. He's that big left tackle at 6'6" and 215 pounds. And off in the backfield. A couple of more yards there. Just keep adding it up. As they hand off the football to Woods again. Maurice Carthen in on the stop for the Polar Bears. For the moment, Dan Bannister's in there. Lose a little size in at the left tackle. 6'2", 205. There's the rushing yardage so far in this one. Again, we're barely into the second quarter. Medley, play action, rolls right. Got a receiver downfield.
Wide open.
Oh, wide open is Brian Nelson. And he'll take it down to the 19-yard line. before he is finally stopped by Joey Rodriguez and Aston Martin. 43-yard pass completion.
I guess they're trying to respect the play action play right there so much with Woods that all the receivers are getting wide open. The safeties are biting up on the play action fake. And Hadley found Nelson down there wide open. If he had a chance to lead him a little bit more, he could have probably scored off that play.
He had to hold up and wait for the ball. If he could have hit him on the run, that was 6. Harrison now on the move. Hadley, pitch back to Woods. A couple of yards before he is stacked up, getting in there defensively was Lorenzo Williams. Let's go back to the sidelines. And we will go there in a minute. Jamie's in the middle of the hot dog, I understand. Or maybe he's gotten a soda from the fans at this point. He's always working the crowd.
Jamie's good at that.
Absolutely. Doesn't give us anything, though. 2nd down and 8 for the Hawks. So Nick Hall to the far side, and Nelson, who caught that pass moments ago, to the near side of the field. Ellison Roberson out of the backfield. Hadley, straight drop, little quick pass to Tim Doig. There's a flag in the secondary. Delay a game. Took too much time. And again, we pointed this out last night. There are play clocks in the corner here at the Silverdome, but they do not operate them in high school football. So you have to be aware when they put the ball in play.
Foul. Delay a game. Offense. Still 2nd down.
That clock normally in an NFL game or a college game would be lit up and the time would be on it. But in the high school, they do not do that. Of course, most stadiums don't have play clocks, so they don't use it, and they don't use it for the state finals. When they start, blow the whistle and mark the ball, you better be aware of the time, and they weren't. It cost them 5 yards. Hadley, back, screen pass, left side.
Wide open.
Had to come back and get it. Good blockers. It's going to be a foot race, and he'll be taken down at about the 2-yard line. Had a great lead block down there and finally stopped coming through on the play.
Hadley dropped straight back, and as you can see right at the bottom of your screen, Woods setting up for the screen. He gets it. He's got 3 blockers in front of him and 1 tackler, and he's almost be able to dive right into the end zone. When he smells the goal line, he gets low and runs hard. He gets tremendous force when he's heading toward the goal line.
Turner Nandy is the one that made the stop, and now it's 1st and goal to go for Harrison at the 2-yard line. Power eye in the backfield, and the official stop play. Someone's taking time out, I think. Well, there's Coach McEwen on the Grand Rapids Creston sideline, and timeout was taken by the Polar Bears. That's their 2nd. Let's go down to the sidelines. Jamie Samuelson, I understand you're going to become an auto repair mechanic. Is that true?
Someone's going to have to, Larry. You saw the shot of Dan McLean right there talking to our own Joe D'Angelo. The reason why Country Day is still here, they're not just scouting. They don't need to scout anymore. Their bus broke down. They're waiting now for the band bus to come back and pick them up. So the old mentor, Joe D'Angelo, getting to spend some time with one of his proteges. So kind of a nice story, but I'm sure they'd be rather somewhere else celebrating right now. Larry?
You know, Country Day's not that far away. Maybe a couple of cabs, limo ride from here to there. They could be there in, about 15, 20 minutes to Country Day at 13 and Lasser.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't take them too long to get back to campus. Probably flag down a couple of people out here in the parking lot. Take them back. Well, there's the team. They're sitting in the stands. Now, you think at least you'd order out and get pizza.
At least pizza.
At least pizza for them in the stands, They don't have pizza. They don't have popcorn. They don't have hot dogs. I think Dan McLean ought to be shelling out a few bucks right now for his team, buying a few dogs. Yeah, there he is. Oh, look at that. He's got an empty bottle. He's probably going to go try to fill up the Coke bottle there. Get a refill somewhere.
Or to return it in.
1st and goal for the 2. Hand off to Woods, left side, touchdown. Drew Terry has 2 touchdowns. Kevin Woods has 2 touchdowns.
As we said at the top, it's the running backs who've been carrying these teams all year long.
There's a couple of proud parents in the stands.
Just an off-tackle play to the left, and it's blocked very well. By the time there's contact with Kevin Woods, he's already in the end zone.
Kent Taylor came up, big number 45. That's the fullback. Leads the way, makes a block right there, and that's why Woods gets into the end zone so easily. Chris Wong on for the PAT. Up and good, and 8:53 left here before halftime. And we've had a flip-flop in the lead again with the Hawks on top of the Polar Bears, 17-14. This looks like it could rival that Detroit Country Day and Muskegon Orchard View game that wound up with 71 points being scored. We've got 31 right now in this one.
A little under 9 minutes to play in this half, and again, we've been seeing a lot of scoring and running up and down the field. This could be a major track meet before it's over.
Halftime is going to be so important in this with the adjustments that both coaches made. You're going to find that Farmington Hills Harrison, John Harrington, he's going to get his crew wrapped around him at halftime, make some adjustments. Sparky McEwen will do the same. John Harrington, 30 years in one spot as the head coach, 18 trips to the state championships, 8-time state champion. They have dominated the 90s. They have won 5 in this decade. 91, 93, 94, 97, and 98. There's Sparky McEwen on the other side. Done a great job at Grand Rapids Creston.
He's in the beginning of his tenure, getting his program started. And the way they look now, he can have a Harrington-type career at Grand Rapids Creston. These kids are playing very good football, and they look very organized, so I'm quite sure they've really bought into what they're trying to do.
Wong to kick this one off. Puts his foot into it, and it comes deep. Grabbed at the 8-yard line by Aston Martin. And he stopped at the 23-yard line, and the Polar Bears go back on offense. One of the things that Grand Rapids Creston did is they went to the Star Commonwealth camp in Albion in July. Now, that's not a football camp. That's a leadership camp. And the kids cook for each other, rope climbing. They came together as a team. And really, Sparky McEwen says that was the turning point. We came together as a unit doing that. Not football related at all. And now it's led to this great season, 12-1, and in the state championship game. Brewster rolling right, has some blockers if he wants to run, and he does turn it up inside. And we'll get about 6 yards before he's knocked out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Well, Bryant came up to help make the stop.
Got Brewster throws well on the run. He's running there. He's got the run pass option. If he doesn't find anybody open, he's going to keep the ball and run down the sideline. And with this kind of play, he should try to just run out of bounds. You want to take contact and still go out of bounds. If you're going to go out of bounds, make sure you don't get any contact at all.
Don't want to get hit by a 205-pound defensive lineman that's coming down. Coming at full speed, said, I get a chance to hit the quarterback. Brewster rolls to his left side, fires back over the middle, and intercepted. Picked off by Brian Nelson, went through the hands of the intended receiver, which was B.J. Haney, and Brian Nelson gets his 7th interception of the season.
It's been a story of big plays so far in this game. See Brewster rolling to his left. He stops the guy, the receiver that sets right there, and the ball hits him right in the hands, and he lets it go through it, and Nelson's right there being Johnny on the spot, making the interception. Actually went through the hands of Kevin Jackson, 11, not 1. He saw the 1 out there, so Brewster's picked off, and here goes Farmington Hills Harrison back on offense, leading 17-14. Give it to Woods, cuts back to the left, has some running room, breaks through tackle, still on his feet, and finally ridden down at the 15-yard line. He broke tackle after tackle. That is just strong running for 19 yards. That's that Terrell Davis type of style I talked about with Kevin Woods. You see him running to the right. He breaks it back to left, breaks 1 tackle there. Keeps his leg moving, breaks another tackle there. There's another tackle. Broke about 5 tackles on that play. And he's the kid that you have to wrap. Guys with that kind of running power, you got to make sure when you make contact, you wrap your arms around him and bring him to the ground. He's just not going to go off. You're just hitting him and fall down. He's going to continue to move those legs. There you see his numbers on the day. A couple of touchdowns for him. First down for Farmington Hills Harrison. Handed off to Woods. Cuts back inside. And will gain 5 yards. He's got great cutback ability, Stan. He's got tremendous cutback ability. And what happens with that is it comes off his vision. He's running with his eyes. He knows when he's going to cut back and pounce it up, but what he does is he sets his blocks up really well. He starts outside, he gets the defense flowing to the outside, but then cuts back against the grain, and he's getting good positive yardage off that.
Woods takes himself out of the game. He signaled to the sidelines. Roberson is in at the tailback spot now while Woods catches his breath. 2nd down and 5 for the Hawks. Pitch back to Roberson. He's got speed to the outside. Turns it up in. Very close to the first down at the 5-yard line. And if he gets it right to the 5, that should move the chains and make it 1st and goal. They'll look over this way. And they're going to bring the chains in from the far sidelines for the measurement.
Well, the substitute for Kevin Woods is Roberson, and he's the kind of kid who just runs with good speed. He brings it outside. He's got good knee action. Breaks the tackle himself, and he's the kind of kid I really want to see him break in the open because I think he really has some jets, just looking at his footwork.
And the chains come across, and it's 1st down, and it's 1st and goal for Farmington Hills Harrison, trying to take advantage of the interception by Brian Nelson. Sparky McEwen, what a turnaround. 2-7, 3-6, 2-7. Played at Ferris State University. 7 years varsity football coach. He's been around for a while. 4 years varsity baseball coach. Creston had never won more than 9 games in a season. Back in 1968. And a dream season for Grand Rapids Creston. Woods back in there.
You know, looking at Coach McEwen right there, with the camp that he took his kids to, the Commonwealth camp, which is not a football camp, he has a clear understanding that your attitude will determine your altitude. That shows you the integrity of Coach Sparky McEwen.
2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Farmington Hills Harrison leading 17-14. Power I formation. Handed to Woods. Lead blockers and touched into the end zone. Well, he got touched once he got across that white line that says you have scored 6, young man. His 3rd touchdown run of the day.
He's making it look too easy.
There's Mom and Dad.
I wonder who they come here to see.
I don't know. I don't know who that 23 kid is.
But we're giving all the accolades to Kevin Woods, but that offensive line is doing a tremendous job at blocking up front. Those guys are coming up. As you can see, when he gets the ball, there's no polar bear defender near him. Again, he doesn't get touched until he gets to the goal line.
Wong on for the PAT. Good snap. Foot is up. PAT is good, and they tack on another touchdown, an extra point, and now it's 24-14 in favor of Farmington Hills Harrison. The Hawks looking for a 3rd straight championship title. It will be the 9th for that man right there, John Harrington. Graduated from Waterford High School back in 1958.
Oh, really? He graduated the year before I was born.
Yeah, and I think we're both old.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, he looks better than I do. And probably it's because he works with young men all the time in the football program.
Yeah, he does look good. Larry, there's been a lot of scoring back and forth, seesawing. And I think this seesaw type of game favors Farmington here. And we look at the scoring drive right there. They've been in this kind of game before. The attitude is there. You wonder with the team like the Polar Bears, who've never been in this kind of game before, who've never really been in a seesaw battle, how their emotions will play on them. With these guys wanted since we're down now, are we out of it? There's a long time to go. We're still in the first half. You know, if these guys can keep their attitude in the game, they'll be okay. But I think a seesaw battle favors Farmington Hills.
By the way, the Country Day players have been saved. A new bus has arrived, and they have, as they say, left the building.
Go Yellow Jackets.
Kick grabbed at the 10-yard line. That's Archie with it and takes it to the 20-yard line where the Polar Bears try to get something going on offense with 5:18 left before halftime. Well, it was Ashton Martin out there. I said I think it's beginning to go.
If you look at the mistakes Creston made, is just not covering the wide receiver going down, covering the punt, which caused them to get a first down in scoring position, and then an overthrown pass for the interception right there, and getting ready to kick a 59-yard field goal. You don't jump off sides. And really rolling to the right and throwing another interception off the hands of the receiver. If you just take those mistakes away alone, hey, the Polar Bears could be in the lead right now.
Handoff coming to the near side. going to stretch it out, and just couldn't get turned, and it's going to be no gain for Drew Terry. I tell you what, great job of Farmington Hills Harrison stretching that one out. Well, we'll give him a yard, move it up to the 21-yard line. They really came down the line and allowed no penetration whatsoever by the Polar Bears.
We talked about the speed on the touchdown run as we look at Coach McEwen on the sideline that Andrew Terry had. He gets upfield real quick. The Farmington Harrison defense understands that, and they're flowing to the ball extremely well.
Quick out by Brewster. Man gets away from one, turns up inside. Looked like they had Leonard Latham early. Could have had him behind the line of scrimmage. But he'll gain a yard to the 22, maybe the 23-yard line.
They caught a pass in the flat there. You want to make sure after you make that first man miss, you get back outside, because there's nothing but helmets and headaches coming from the inside.
Brian Nelson was staggering a little bit as they get a little break.
Pass right there in the flat. He beats the first man. Get back outside. He comes back into where everybody's coming. I know he wants to avoid that first rush, but there's a whole lot of headache inside there waiting for him.
Now timeout has been taken on the field, and here goes Coach McEwen out. Most of the teams will go to the sidelines, but Sprocky McEwen goes out to meet his team on the field, so he's headed out there now.
862. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Get the kid outside. Listen up. Can we get the... Hey, listen now. We got to be able to hit this here now, okay? Let's go with white gun right. Okay, white gun right. And let's go with 844. Okay, get the stick. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, we're good. Hey, we're great right here. This is, this is our type of game right here, right now. I'm going to tell you something, man. Right now, you're not playing Polar Bear football. You got to come on with it, man. Hey, you're playing their football. You got to come on with it, man. I'm telling you right now. We're in the dome. We're going to be here. So let's not, hey, let's make the best of it. Okay? Let's make the best of it. Make the best of it. Here we go. Let's go with, hey, let's go with white gun, right, 844. White gun right, red. Okay, get him outside.
White gun right, 844. Gun means he's coming from up under the center. Shotgun formation, that's what it should be. I don't know, they may be running a little bit different. Actually, he's going in the city. 844, the routes are numbered. And each particular route, depending on where your lineup is and what route you got to run.
Brewster rolling right, fires downfield and threw it short. Intended for Kevin Jackson, and Jackson was open, but that one was short into the turf. And now they're going to have to punt it away. You also heard Coach McEwen say, we're not playing Polar Bear football, we're playing their game. It's the first punt of the contest coming up, we think.
And I understand exactly what he's saying, because as well as Bruce has been throwing this whole game,
Turner!
I was really shocked he was...
Turner! Tell him 36! 36!
I was really shocked he wasn't able to hit that pass, because they've been throwing the ball pretty well so far this game.
B.J. Haney back to punt it away. It's their first punt of the day. Well, we've seen a fake punt by Harrison. Puts his foot into it. This one goes up high, but goes nowhere. It bounces, and it takes a Polar Bear bounce, and does it ever. It crosses midfield and will be down at the 49-yard line in Farmington Hills Harrison territory. A 29-yard punt. Here comes Harrison back on the field. Can Kevin Woods get a fourth touchdown? We'll see in a minute. Well, there you see the Farmington Hills Harrison band. They couldn't afford uniforms. Hey, man, they're getting ready to go at it. Your Sunday viewing lineup kicks off with NFL this morning at 11 a.m. At 2:30, it's the Red Wings and Coyotes. In the evening, it's Sunday Night Fights, going deep in Fox Sports News prime time. All tomorrow on Fox Sports Net. How would you like to be a parent of somebody in that marching band? Woo! Those young people are having a fun time, though. And so is this man carrying the football. And a little extracurricular going on as tempers flare just a tad. Kevin Woods, he'll add another 5 yards to his running total.
Very emotional game here, so the tempers are going to fly a little bit.
Well, let's take a look at what Kevin Woods has done today. He's been outstanding, Stan.
He's a north and south running. He gets those shoulders pointing toward the goal line. He's very active, and gets positive yards all the time on the screen here at the sideline. And there's one of his many touchdowns of this afternoon.
Play action by Hadley, rolls right, going downfield, and caught again. And down there is the man that's been catching footballs all day long, and it's Brian Nelson.
Great catch by Brian Nelson. Again, we talked about earlier in the show that Hadley has not played quarterback for a very long time, so his accuracy is not what it should be, or quite sure what they would like for it to be. But see, when he rolls out here to his right, play action back to Woods, he's open, so he puts a little air up under the ball, which allows the defender to get there. But never mind that, Nelson goes up and makes one tremendous catch. Looking at it from the back angle here, ball's going up top, it's kind of a little wobbly. Defender's there, but Nelson goes up and makes a tremendous catch.
37-yard reception, hand off to Woods, starting left, goes back right, foot race, little jig there, and knocked out at the 6-yard line. He started left, that's the way the play was going to go, and he went, oops, there's too many bodies there, and cut it back to the right. Turner Nandi on the stop for the Polar Bears.
He's in the Silver Dome, must think and run like Barry Sanders. You see him coming into the left, he stops. Starback Evans goes to the right, which is really not his style of running, but actually kind of got away with it right there on that play.
Eric Malloy reached out trying to grab him, number 88, and caught air. And we got a player down on the far sidelines for the Polar Bears. He's out of bounds at the 4-yard line. And it looks like that's Creston Holman, the junior linebacker. And he's back up on his feet.
He's involved in the tackle on Woods over there, maybe.
Well, 3 touchdowns already for Kevin Woods, and there you see the state final record for touchdowns. Bill Coleman, hey, Farmington Hills Harrison, 1988.
Who's actually on the sideline, assistant coach for the team this year.
And he might get or tie that record here in the first half because it is 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line for the Hawks. He has had a phenomenal first half here at the Silverdome. They lined up as the deep back of the power I. Actually, a great job as Kent Taylor, number 45, the fullback in front of Woods, doing blocking. Play action. Keeping himself as Hadley. Tries to turn the corner. Nope. And a great defensive job coming up and sealing very quickly was Joey Rodriguez.
Rodriguez right here playing linebacker. Doesn't buy the fake to Woods. Stays with the plays, not faked out at all. Just draws a beat on Hadley and makes him, tackles him in the backfield for a loss.
Hadley tried to get out of it, but no going there as Rodriguez made sure he went down, so they lose yardage, and it's 3rd and goal from the 8.5-yard line. With a man in motion, play action. Hadley rolling right, fires. Nelson was in the back of the end zone, was waving for the football, but Joey Rodriguez stepped in front and knocked it away. That just took too long because Nelson was open waving for it. The defender saw it and stepped over in front of him.
Talk about that man last play. Here he is again, Rodriguez. Following the quarterback, Hadley rolling out to his right, looking for someone to throw it. And the hesitation allowed Rodriguez getting the play to make a tremendous defensive play in the end zone.
Wong's going to try a field goal. This one from 26 yards, and it's from the outside hash mark, which means he has a tough angle to hook it back in. Low snap, gets it up, and it is through. A great job by recovering that ball and getting it set by Brad Tucker, because that snap came back on the ground, and he should get a pat on the helmet.
Oh, he absolutely should, because the ball was a bad snap, and not only did he get it up and recover it in time, he got it off the ground, got it back on the tee in time enough so Wong didn't have to stutter step. He was able to follow through with his regular motion.
One of the good things that Wong did that time, he didn't start into his step until the ball was set on the tee. Instead of start and stop and then maybe miss it, he held his composure and waited until it was set up, and it was a great job by Tucker to get the ball off the ground, set it up, and a good job by this young man to wait and then kick it through cleanly.
A lot of teams practice that in practice, Larry, where they'll have what they call a fire drill or a drill where there's something goes wrong, and it's up to the kicker to kind of watch to see where the ball is placed. He did hesitate. He waited till the ball got put on the tee and then just popped it right in. Nice chip shot, just like your 9-iron.
Yeah, that's my driver. I'm sorry to say it, that's my driver. Now there's a guy, he looks like he's ready for the WWF at the moment.
Absolutely, my God, yeah.
Well, it's 27-14 in favor of Farmington Hills Harrison. Still 2:16 left in the first half. Long kicks it off. Comes down deep. And Martin's on the loose. Cuts to the right side. Aston Martin running. And finally knocked out of bounds by Kevin Woods at the 46.5-yard line of Farmington Hills Harrison.
Good return by Martin.
Aston Martin looked like an Aston Martin on that one.
He sure did. Off the point, he started upfield. Once he broke the first wave of the wedge, broke to the sideline. And what most teams try to do is have for their safety man or their last person, he catches his hit, goes straight upfield, and once he gets through that first wave of tackles, he hits the sideline, ready to turn upfield, but Woods is back there ready to push him out of bounds.
It's a 45-yard return. Brewster turned around. What happened was Terry was only 2 yards behind him, and he had nowhere to hand the football. I thought something was strange. Drew Terry was set up on the hip of the quarterback, and so Brewster takes the drop, turns around. Nobody's behind him because Terry's beside him. Look at that.
That's an odd-looking broken knees. He turned around and said, hey, what's going on? And what a smart quarterback will do is he's running to where the play was called. As you can see, he gets positive yardage here. Heck, he gets almost 8 yards on this play. But what a smart quarterback will do is you're always taught if you miss the handoff, you take the ball and run to where the play is called because that's where the block is going to be.
2nd down and 3. Got out of bounds, so that stopped the clock. They have only one timeout remaining with 1:56 left. Brewster back to pass, quick toss, completed. Gets it out very quickly, gets it to his man, Leonard Latham, who's been a very busy receiver. They get the first down to the 30-yard line. That'll stop the clock on the 9-yard pickup with 1:48 left as they move the chains. There's a young man that looks just a little tired at the moment. That's Nick Hall.
3-step drop by Brewster, throws the ball right on the money to Latham. Keeps the ball in the middle of the field, so at the burst they'll have a chance at a field goal.
And another quick toss, and that one was low and hot. I'm sure anybody could have caught that one down that low. Tried to toss it out to Kevin Jackson, and incomplete, but that'll stop the clock with 1:34 and bring up 2nd down and 10. Well, it's been all Farmington Hills Harrison in this quarter. They've scored 17 points to the Polar Bears 7. Brewster with 3 wide receivers. Will roll to the near sideline.
He's wide open.
Throws downfield. Latham there. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown. Leonard Latham, the 5'11 senior, gets the reception and puts 6 on the board for the Polar Bears. And, well, here we go again. Could be 48 points by halftime. I thought the last game was high scoring. This one could be in the 50s.
Larry and I open, we talk so much about the running backs and what their contributions have been. But this quarterback, Brewster, again, he passed for over 2,500 yards coming into the contest. And he throws a strike on the run to Latham. Right there, he was wide open. Beat the man who just walks into the end zone for a touchdown. The Polar Bears back in business.
Pringle got it through. Harrison almost got to that one. And we've got a 27-21 ball game with 1:25 left in the opening half. There's Latham, who got the touchdown, and he's been a busy receiver.
Yes, he has. Most of the time, what they're going to do with Brewster, they're going to roll him out because he throws very well on the run. As you can see right there, it's Latham on the strike, in stride. After he beats the first man, there's no one there to stop him from going into the end zone. I mean, the attitude of this Polar Bear offense never say die. Again, we go back to what the coaching staff from the Polar Bears have instilled in these players. And again, these players have never been in this type of game before. None of these guys have ever played in a championship game.
They never played in a playoff game till this year.
Not before this year, but they're playing this game like they've been here before.
Well, and we fucking had 10 men out. So I'm thinking, is it Nardi?
No, Nardi's been on the field every time.
Well, it's been an interesting day. The fans are here. We've had 7 champions crowned. This is the 8th and final one for 1999. And what a state finals it has been. And we hope you've enjoyed all of it on Fox Sports Net. Woods will get the ball at the 14. Oh, big hit by Dan Stocking. on Kevin Woods. Now, do you do?
Those are kind of the plays that you have to have. Stocking's not a player who plays a great deal, but his job is to come in and make hits like that on special teams. Those are the other little things that players do to get you to the championship game and win championship. Stocking is not getting a lot of play during the regular offensive defensive series. His job is to make plays on second team. He did his job so good that Kevin Woods is now on the sideline.
Yeah, he's over trying to catch his breath. He's probably asking, Coach, which area code are we in? You know that something? I couldn't tell him. Here they come with the reverse. Again, Shabai on the reverse. The Polar Bears thought they had stripped the ball away. Shabai can also throw it. He was quarterback for the team. Brings it around and makes it second down and a long 6. Well, you have seen about every trick in the book. There's Harrison's possessions in this half. 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals. They played perfect football.
Now, you mentioned that Shabai can throw the ball. They may be setting up for the second half, run that reverse in the second half, and he may run a reverse pass.
Roberson to the right side, turns the corner, got some blockers in front, and taken down at the 47-yard line over in Creston territory. They've got 29 seconds left, and Farmington Hills Harrison also has 2 timeouts.
I mean, he looks fast. I mean, his leg action is tremendous. He got high knee, gets the ball off tackle. When he gets to running, got good arm and leg action, steps through tackle there. And I thought he was going to break it for the long one.
Now, they list him at 5'11", but I don't know why. From up here, he looks tall.
He looks very tall because the high knee action makes him look a lot taller than he really is.
Well, timeout taken by Harrison. They're going to bring him over and talk about things on the far sidelines, and why not? You've got it in their territory. You've got a field goal kicker that can kick from over 50 yards. So get it a little closer at worst. Give him a shot at it. What have you got to lose?
Got nothing to lose at all. You get some Polar Bear fans. There's more of them right there. Imagine the town of Grand Rapids probably closed down to come down here.
Well, we had Grand Rapids South Christian last night, Muskegon Orchard View from that side of the state earlier, Grand Rapids Creston, so well represented from the west side of the state of Michigan.
They play a good brand of football up there, they always have. And in that area, they've generally had someone in the state finals since they started this format.
Everyone loves to see themselves on the big screen, don't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Hadley, quick toss, far side to Shabai. Doesn't get out of bounds, so the clock will run. 23 seconds left, and they're going to use their final timeout. They'll stop it with 19. So they are out of timeouts. The ball at the 41-yard line, and they're way out of the distance, I would think, for Chris Wong to try one. Yeah, we saw Paglino today for Country Day try a 59-yarder. But the rule, and it won't matter because we're down to the half, in high school football, if you try a field goal attempt, it goes in the end zone. It comes out to the 20-yard line. It's a touchback. So many times it's as good as a punt.
Yeah, it is. Shabai had to do it all over again. He probably should have got out of bounds on that because he wasn't close to the first down marker. Get what you get and get out of bounds and save that timeout. Long has a pretty good leg, and if you can get another play and throw the ball in the middle of the field where you know they're going to be trying to keep you in bounds and then call your timeout, you can give them a shot.
There are signs everywhere on both sides of the Silverdome. You saw one just moments ago. Now they've got to go to the air here. Hadley, straight drop. They'll throw it to Roberson. He'll turn upfield and he'll step out of bounds. It'll still give him 13 seconds. Third down and about 3 yards now for the Hawks.
That's the play they needed last play. Get out of bounds. Now they got third down play at 13 seconds.
Well, at halftime, okay, we'll give you a minute or two to go to the fridge, whatever you have to do. We've got a big halftime coming up. We're going to review the last 2 days at the Dome. You missed a game or two? Well, we've got the highlights for you. We'll talk to both coaches and also our stats and highlights. And we could spend a whole halftime going through the highlights of this first half here.
Sure could.
Shotgun for Hadley. He's got everybody out. Now he's going to take off running, and that's going to do it. Everyone was covered. He had 4 wide receivers out, and there was a man tied on each one of them, and that'll bring us to halftime. And after 2 quarters of play in the Division III Finals, Farmington Hills Harrison, the 2-time defending champion, leading the Polar Bears 27-21. Stay with us. Our halftime festivities coming up here on Fox Sports Net. Larry Henry and Stan Edwards upstairs. Jamie Samuelson on the sideline. See some of the Creston fans on hand. There you see the Polar Bears. And Stan, they were doing calisthenics. I can't remember a team coming out in the second half. Yeah, you stretch a little bit to get loosened up, but they were doing jumping jacks.
I'd be willing to bet that before Sparky got this job that they didn't do this type of thing. You can see the enthusiasm in this team and how they're coming together. He's got the whole attitude really changed from obviously where it was before. Calisthenics beginning of the second half, a lot of cheer, a lot of rival, like the game is getting ready to start. So as he told Jamie, we're here to win a football game, so let's get it on.
There you see Kevin Woods. He's okay, jogging, loosening up those legs. He lugged the leather for 3 touchdowns in the first half. Again, Coleman has the record in the state finals. That's 4 touchdowns, and Woods just 1 away, getting 3 in the first half. There you see John Harrington, the head coach, 30 years on the job with Harrison, and he hasn't done it all alone. He's had some great assistants there that have been with him for a long, long time. Now there's a picture that someone's going to enjoy with the cheerleaders from Farmington Hills Harrison. Something those young ladies will remember. Well, they'll tell their kids about it on down the road.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what makes this so fun. You know, pro football, it's a different level, but I truly love college and high school because you can't get the enthusiasm and the real feel of the kids that are involved. And the third quarter is underway. Martin has the ball. Don't make that number 21. That is Scooter Archie. And he'll bring it up to the 21-yard line, and that's where the Polar Bears go on offense. Carlton Brewster, the leading back out. There's the quarterback, the junior. So he'll be back for another year for Sparky McEwen, who's done a fabulous job in that program. Got him turned around. Classes come first with him, not football.
That's the way it should be. This is interscholastic athletics.
In fact, he's got 18 kids on the team with a 3.0 GPA or higher. Brewster rolls to the right side, has time, fires downfield, and there's Lapham again. Breaks the tackle, foot races on. Shabai finally knocks him out of bounds. And that's going to be the flag, and it's not Shabai that makes the stop. Coming up is Nick Hall to put the stop on him and knocks him out of bounds and moves the bench and 15 more.
Coach McEwen talked about Polar Bear football. This is the play I want you to watch right here. Now the ball is going to be thrown to Latham right there. He hooks. But what makes this play go is after he throws a move here comes the key block right there to get him up and down the sideline. That's Polar Bear football that Sparky McEwen talked about in the first half.
That was B.J. Haney.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the defense. First down.
Nick called the late hit out of bounds. B.J. Haney was the guy you were talking about that made the block as the flanker back coming back. And there you see it, right into the metal bench on the sidelines.
Yeah, he was a good 4 or 5 strides out of bounds.
And off to Terry. And he just keeps chugging. Shabai had him down around the ankles, then had to get some help. He just kept dragging people along and was going to carry him.
I talked to Terry before the game, and I asked him, what kind of running back do you admire? He said Walter Payton. And that was a typical Walter Payton type of run. When you see a guy, Walter Payton could make a 3-yard run look exciting, which he never came off 1 tackle, 2 tackles, 3 tackles, 4, and he's still moving. That's a Walter Payton kind of run. He really represented his idol well on that play.
He gained 4 yards. Harrison looks like they're not sure defensively what they want to do at the moment. And off to Terry again. Well, they know defensively what they want to do, and that's stop number 22. They got in there big time and just stumped him and knocked him back. One of the guys in there was Brad Person and also Ian Cole. There you see Ryan Lucas, big number 64. from the linebacker spot. 6 foot, 212-pound senior. 3rd down and 5 for Grand Rapids Creston.
From this formation, 4 wides early in the game, they had a quick hitting play, a trap. I wonder if they'll go back to it again, because that's the only time they ran it was in the first half.
Back quickly to pass. Brewster gets it to Latham again, and he looks like he's got the first down at the 21-yard line. Roberson there on the stop. Also helping out Brian Lucas, but they moved the football, and Latham's become their top receiver, and they're going to go with a no huddle.
Oh, boy, they're getting that going after it. That was good textbook football on that last play, just pitch and catch between Brewster and Latham.
Brewster with the audible call now at the line because they had no huddle. Hands off to Terry. Big opening on the left side. Cuts back to the right, breaks one tackle, and it has to be gang tackled at the 10-yard line. Now that quick hitter on the left side, and there was no one in front of him to stop him.
This play was a big play in the first half from the 4 wide receiver set. Quick hitting play to Terry right up in the middle. Gets about another 8-9 yards and another first down.
The Polar Bears on the move. They trail by 6, but they're just 10 yards away from pay dirt. Brewster will run it to the right side. Looking in the end zone for Latham. Another touchdown. Well, Leonard Latham all of a sudden has become the go-to guy through the air for the Polar Bears, and we are tied 27-all.
Latham's roundup right here is going to go here and go out right there, as you can see. He runs away from the defender. The defender had him covered early, but a good receiver always gets separation from the defender, which made it an easier throw for Brewster.
O.D. Pringle for the PAT right down the middle, and we got a new leader. Polar Bears now on top, 28-27.
This is Polar Bear football.
Yes, it is.
You see the defender's right there, yeah.
He's unbelievable right now. You know, and that's what you got to do, Stan. In the playoffs, get someone to step up that doesn't maybe have the stats, and Latham has done that today.
Yes, he has. In this type of game, you're going to need people who you generally don't depend on step to the top. But again, Brewster threw for 2,500 yards. He had to been throwing to someone.
7 catches, 154 yards for that young man. Well, they gave us the receiving list, the top 4 in their stats. He's nowhere to be found.
Not even listed.
Not even listed.
Now that's stepping up.
That is stepping up big time. He's having a career afternoon. There's a man that's all business.
Talk about a poker face.
Now we wait the kickoff now. Kevin Woods and Roberson back. John Harrington now has to get his team back up on top.
Had a concerned look on his face.
He's had that look all day. He said this is not one of his better Harrison teams, yet here they are in the state finals. They'll squib it downfield. Woods waits for it, picks it up at the 20. Cuts right, cuts left, and to the 32-yard line, and that's where they will go on offense. Ahmad Sims in, stopping Woods. And let's see if anybody can stop Woods when he is on offense. He had 3 touchdowns in the first half. Again, the record for rushing touchdowns in a game, 4.
Something we ought to look for is Woods has been sitting on the bench for a while. He didn't finish out the first half, and then we've already had about 3 or so minutes ran in the second quarter. There's Mel Coleman. There's the record he's trying to go after. He's already scored 4 touchdowns. I think it's 5 or 6 touchdowns in the state playoff game held by that man there, Mel Coleman.
See what Hadley can do. Going to hand it off to Woods. And he'll get 3 yards with a quick hitter off the right side to the 35-yard line. Marcus Applewhite defensively on the stop. Mr. Woods seems to be okay. Just had the wind knocked out of him momentarily there just before halftime.
Yeah, he's going to have to get cranking again if he wants this Hawk offense to get started.
28-27 in favor of the Polar Bears. This one another great high school football game. They've all been outstanding.
Yes, they have.
Tell you what, for $8, these people got got their money's worth getting into the dome to watch this one. Woods to the right side, turns up, looked like he was going to be loose for a moment, and then the door just slammed shut on the far sidelines. Turner and Andy came up to make the stop.
Polar Bear defense is starting to stiffen a little bit. First 2 plays, they played the run well. This will be a very interesting play on 3rd down, because if they come out of the halftime and go 3 downs and punt, the momentum could slowly shift, where you'll see if the Polar Bears can start really dropping the hammer on the Hawks.
Power eye with Roberson as the deep back behind Hadley. Kevin Woods is out of there. Play action. Hadley fires downfield. Caught by Shabai, and he's got the first down at the Polar Bears' 44-yard line.
Good 3rd down call by the coaching staff for the Farmington Harrison Hawks.
19-yard pickup by Shabai.
Always play action to Woods. Hadley dropped back and had flooded the middle of the field area, had 2 or 3 receivers to choose from. Caught one for a big first down.
Well, Hadley doing well at the quarterback spot for the Hawks. Both quarterbacks have played well in this one. Again, the power eye. Woods is back in, though, on this one. Sent Shabai out of it. Headed off to Woods. Got some blockers. Finds a little crease. He'll take it to the 38-yard line. Woods keeps adding to his yardage total. We could have a game here today where we've got 2 running backs, 1 on each side, that have rushed for over 200 yards. Well, we had it in the last game that we had here this afternoon between Detroit Country Day and Muskegon Orchard View. We had 2 great runners in that one, if you saw the highlights at halftime.
A statistician's dream.
Well, they've worn out a lot of pencils today.
For sure.
And the calculator right now, they're on about the 5th set of batteries. And off to Woods, and he'll gain the first down for Harrison. Just methodical, Harrison, no panic, falling behind by 1. Hey, plenty of time. We're just in the 3rd quarter. Let's stick with our game plan. And that's really what Grand Rapids Creston has done themselves. Let's get back to our game plan. Yeah, maybe we were starstruck coming in here, although we thought they played well. First time in the state finals, really first time in the playoffs under McEwen, and they have finally settled down. It takes a few hits, and there were some in that first half to get the butterflies out, and now they're down to playing their brand of football, as is Farmington Hills Harrison.
It's a game of will. Let's see who breaks first.
Power eye again. To Woods, left side, and stretches out. Gets some that big yardage. Alonzo Williams had him around the ankles, and Woods stepped out of it and dove forward for a couple of more yards.
They've been running a lot to the left side over there. You got left tackle Brad Pearson and Mike Lawson there. You see a missed block there. Most of the time, that's where they're going for all their yardage, over the left side. Those guys have been doing a tremendous job most of the night. They did miss a block that play, but he's been getting the bulk of his yardage along that left line.
2nd down and 5 for the Hawks. Woods at the deep back position. Woods will get it again, finds an opening in the middle, takes it to the 24-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down for Farmington Hills Harrison. Turner and Andy again on the stop for the Polar Bears. Comes the play into the far sidelines. They're settling their flankers in and out to get the play into Hadley. Dave Denny brought that play in that time, number 11. You see the 3rd down conversion, just big one, 3rd down and 2. And there was motion, and it was the big fullback that we've talked about, Kent Taylor. Looked like he came up early because he wanted to get out in front and block. He's done a great job all day leading Kevin Woods, but that time he got started a little early.
Yes, he has. If you get a little anxious on a 3rd down play, you want to make sure you get a jump on your man. Just a little bit of a jump that time, as you can see him.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, still 3rd down.
Saw him come up out of the stance and go to the left, and that cost him 5, and so instead of 3rd and 2, it's 3rd and 7, and that'll change the play call. Tim Doig will line up at the tight end, comes in with the play from the sidelines. Well, Woods is capable of getting 7 on the ground, but you have to feel that Hadley's going to try to get it through the air.
Yeah, they'll change the strategy just a little bit when you lose 5 yards.
Polar Bear fans cheering on their defense. Play action. Hadley with time, rolling right, still looking. Back over the middle, Shabai's got it, got the first down and more, turns upfield, and finally ridden hard out of bounds by Joey Rodriguez, but that will be at about the 11-yard line. So they get it to Shabai as Hadley rolls to the right, pick up the first down, and they're at the 11.
Why this play is so successful, because Shabai is coming there out from this side right here, and nobody's covering him. And what happens is when he rolls out, he's coming free because this man right here can't cover two men at one time. So all Hadley has to do is take his pick as to which one the safety covers, and he throws it to the other guy. In that case, Shabai.
Power eye again for the Hawks. And off to Woods, started left, goes right, pinned in, goes back left, and he's going to go nowhere. And he is dragged down. Eric Malloy in there defensively for the Polar Bears.
That play is designed to do that. He starts left and tries to get the momentum going left, and he goes back right. He's run it several times today. He starts left, and it's an automatic cutback. What he tries to do is get the defense flowing one way and comes back the next play. Cuts back the other way, hoping they've overflowed and leave the backside open.
And we've got a flag down, and it's a personal foul against Grand Rapids Creston.
Personal foul on the defense. Half the distance, second down.
And there you see Kevin Woods going out. He was at the bottom of that pile. He might be at the moment getting leg cramps. He has run the football hard and long today. We saw cramps with the Troy Country Day, and we'll check the foul here. Oh, there it is. Oh, no question. Well, no wonder Woods was at the bottom of the pile, and that was a late hit. And off to the first back through. We'll take it to about the 4-yard line. Now, that didn't give them a first down. It was half the distance to the goal line from where they were at. And to get a first down, they have to get it inside the 1-yard line. 3rd and 1 for Farmington Hills Harrison.
This should be an interesting play call here because you can get a first down before you get the touchdown, but I would think they'll be going for the gusto right here.
Well, they wish they had Kevin Woods in the game right now. He's on the sidelines. Roberson is the D-back. This is where Woods has scored 3 touchdowns from today. Hand off to the up-back. That's the fullback, went into the pile, breaks it out. Kent Taylor, touchdown. Oh, the big guy, 230 pounds, ran into the pile. No one could grab him. That big wide body and went to the left. He's been leading the way today. This time he found pay dirt himself.
He earned that touchdown because you're right. He's been pretty much a guard in the backfield just blocking. And you're taught from day one, when you run, if no one tackles your legs, just keep your legs moving. You don't have to go down. Because he ran into contact, you don't stop your legs from moving. No one pulled him down. Runs into the pile. No one pulls him down. Say, hey, nobody's got me grabbed, so let me go around the outside and get into the touchdown. And well-deserved touchdown, too, because he's been a blocking back all day, running into all the linebackers, clearing the way for Kevin Woods. And Taylor gets a touchdown that he actually should have gotten earlier.
Well, every fullback's dream to get into the end zone, and he did right there. They're going to go for the 2-point conversion. Hadley rolling right.
He's open.
And guess what?
Open.
He's got the fullback in the end zone. That is Taylor, and they get the 2-point conversion. He may keep that football.
Yeah. One of the things about it, when you know when you're wide open, you tend to want to cradle the ball and catch it falling. I mean, he's wide open on this play here. He fakes the play action. When he throws it, he knows he's wide open, so I don't want to drop the ball, so I'll just catch it and fall.
Farmington Hills Harrison back up on top in the seesaw battle. There's the man of the hour, Kent Taylor. He rushed in for a touchdown, then caught the 2-point conversion. The big fullback for Farmington Hills Harrison. They're back up on top, 35-28. We've still got 3:20 to go here in the 3rd quarter and all of the 4th. We've got 63 points on the board. Where does it end?
You want to end the game in the state championship game. Out of all the games we had, couldn't pick a better game to do it.
There has been something in the water here in the late games today. Because the last game, they had 71 points scored. Martin on the far side. Cuts back. And he'll be taken down at the 16-yard line. Good hit coming up and grabbing him was Krishna Reed. Now the Polar Bears need to respond. And Sparky McEwen, you don't see a change in his attitude. It is all business-like when you read that face.
Hey, Aston, get in there. Oh, Drew's out there.
If you listen very carefully, if you caught the tail end of the instruction, you might be looking at a trick play here.
No. Well, we started the game with an onside kick. A big punt, which was a pass. So why not? Here comes the reverse. It's Latham. Now he's going to go back the other way. Now he's going to go up the middle. And he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Well, Latham's been busy catching the ball. That time they turned him into a runner and wasn't able to go anywhere.
Latham has been the man today. He's caught a couple of touchdown passes. Now you see him on the reverse here. He's trying to get around the corner, but it's played very well by the Hawks defense to try to reverse field. But the pursuit finally catches up with him. He's able to at least get back to the line of scrimmage.
Second down. In fact, he actually gained a yard.
He did get one.
He got a yard out of all that. Here's Latham's numbers, 7 for 154 yards. Good afternoon for him. Second down and 9. Run it off deep, and that's Ashton Martin that carries the football. Brings it up a few more yards. It brings up third down and around 5.
This Hawk defense have done a tremendous job stopping this Polar Bear offense on the ground. Drew Terry has had a lot of success running in the first half, but he's been pretty quiet of late. And actually he's coming out of the game right now.
Going with the 4 wide receivers. Brewster on 3rd and 5. Straight drop. Runs out of time, and he is going to go down. They came after him hard. In there was Jason Reed, one of the defenders, and Tim Doig. Creston will have to punt the football away.
Again, we talked about being a gang of wills. We found the seesaw battle going back and forth. You wonder, would any team panic? Would any team break? Now the Polar Bears get the ball, go 3 down and have to punt. Will this crush their momentum and their emotion here? Only time will tell.
Second punt of the game, B.J. Haney back. He averaged 32 yards per punt during the regular season. Gets a good punt. Woods fair catch, and he'll have it at the 49-yard line. So he did his job with a great punt. 33-yard punt, no return. 57 seconds left in quarter 3. Harrison leading by 7. We've got another great game going on here at the Silverdome, but next weekend it's more state title excitement with all 4 classes of the girls basketball finals from Mount Pleasant. Coverage begins next Saturday at 11 a.m. on Fox Sports Net, your exclusive television home of MHSAA football and basketball championships. Lou Hadley, the senior quarterback, leading the Hawks out on the field. Hand off, Woods takes it up inside and gets it to Polar Bear territory at the 48-yard line. Gain of 3 for Kevin Woods.
It's like the Hawks want to continue with their ground attack, just methodically going downfield.
Well, Woods now 24 carries and 108 yards. He's had a busy afternoon/evening here at the Dome.
And then Joey Rodriguez trying to fire up that defense, telling his guys, we got to stiffen up. We got to get the ball back for offense so we can get another score.
Well, they've got lots of time because there's still a whole quarter remaining here in this Division III final. And this looks like it'll be a delay of game against Harrison, and it is. You just lose clock awareness, and it costs you 5, and you go from 2nd down and 7 to 2nd down and 12.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Offense. Still 2nd down.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the 2nd time they've called that on Harrison tonight, and that's not typical of a Coach Harrington coach team.
Yeah, you can tell he is not happy with that at all. Got to get the plays in quicker. Got to break the huddle and get there. Once the official blows the whistle and they've spotted the ball, the play clock on the field, it's kept on the field, begins. Shabbai in motion to the far side. Play action. Hadley downfield and intercepted or caught.
Caught by Taylor, but a great catch indeed.
Kent Taylor, the fullback, made a spectacular catch. I thought he had dropped it or it had been intercepted. Thought it was a great defensive play by Turnanandi, but it wasn't. And we've reached the end of 3, and after 3 quarters in this final, Farmington Hills Harrison just 12 minutes away from another state title. Larry Henry, Stan Edwards, Jamie Samuelson on the sideline. Fourth quarter about to get underway. You see the score? Will that man get a ninth state title in his 30-year career at Farmington Hills Harrison? Third and a long 5. Hadley, play action. Screen pass, left side.
Oh.
Off the hands of Taylor, who just had that incredible catch moments ago.
That's a tough break for Kent Taylor there, who's got a pretty good pair of hands. And that's a big miss on the third down play. If you go back and look at him on the last play of the third quarter, on another pass, this is tremendous. Shows the ability of him tipping the ball and staying with it. Oh, got real close. I don't think it brushed the ground.
Oh.
We didn't see that. It didn't touch the ground. Good job, Kent Taylor.
Hey, you got to give it to a fullback.
You got to.
Yeah.
I mean, if we see the backside of him, it's very close. As you can see the replay, it goes down, but it doesn't touch.
I guess you're right. Yep. Good work, guys, on the cameras. And my hat's off to the whole crew. I mentioned it yesterday. The first game started at 10 a.m. and they had to come in and set up the cameras and everything. And our crew from Fox Sports Net got here like at 4 a.m. and they worked all the way through the 4 games last night. Got out of here about 11 o'clock last evening or later.
Wow.
They were back here this morning at 7 a.m. and they're going to be here tonight till, well, they got to tear down everything. They were here at 6:30. I've been corrected from downstairs in the truck. 6:30 a.m. And they have worked all day. And when they get done, when we go off the air and you and I are leaving the building, they're going to be tearing down all the equipment to get it out of the Silverdome. So hats off to the fine Fox Sports Net crew. You guys have done a great job all weekend.
What a yeoman's job. What a yeoman's job.
Made our work a whole lot easier upstairs here in the booth. And there you see a camera that's robotically controlled on the goalpost in the south end zone. Punt by Farmington Hills Harrison. Brad Haney has it on the far sidelines, and we got a flag down. It's going to be roughing the punter, and he is writhing around. And that's Brian Nelson finally gets to his feet, and that will give Harrison a first down.
That's an automatic. In this situation, you want to be careful because your ball possession is very key in the second half of this game. And if you know you don't have a shot, roughing.
That one hurts up here.
He can get arrested for that.
Well, he's still out there on the field. Give it up, man, to Brian Nelson.
Did you see his movements like, hey, I didn't do anything.
Foul. Roughing the kicker on the defense. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Now watch how hard he hits him. And after he hits him, look at that. But watch how he throws his hands up at the end.
Oh, and then he came down on his shoulder. That could have been tough. You're up in the air, you got your leg up, and then you come down on the shoulder hard on the AstroTurf. Big first down for Farmington Hills Harrison, up by 7. Here goes Woods to the left side, cuts it back in. Got a little yardage before Lorenzo Williams stopped it.
They're going to stick with Woods on the ground. It's been very productive with him throughout the game. They're not going to leave their game plan.
Woods keeps running the football. He's got 25 carries now in this game and 109 yards.
And again, at the top of the show, I talked about how he reminds me of Terrell Davis. This is a Terrell Davis type of game. A lot of carries, getting some yardage, but getting it in smaller chunks and not necessarily larger chunks.
All right. Hand it to Woods again. Taylor seals it up for him. Pulls over a defender. That was Lorenzo Williams, and close to the first down for Woods, about the 22-yard line. And there was Taylor, who made an incredible catch. Got a catch in the end zone for a 2-point conversion and a touchdown run.
If you watch the offense, when you watch the band go in motion, when the middle guard moves, he moves out of the way where they're going to send and run Kevin Woods. They set the man from the power in motion, and when he motions away, the middle guard shifts to that side of the ball, and then they runs Woods to where the middle guard had left.
First down at the 22-yard line. You see Woods' stats all going in motion again. Pitch back to Woods. Taylor out leading the way. Seals, allows Woods to get through. Looked like he was going to be gone. Got stopped by Lorenzo Williams again, but Kent Taylor, you really got to give it up because he went through and made the block to spring Woods again.
Ken Taylor is getting a lot of action. You can see him coming here. He's a lead blocking right there, and he goes to, and he cuts back, and then that allows Woods to be patient for the hole to open up. And then nice through there. And one more tackle. If he had to beat him, he'd be in the end zone.
First and goal from the 10-yard line with the Hawks already up by 7. Hand off Woods. Goes to the left side, back to the right, stretches out, touchdown. Number 45 led the way again, and Woods cut back, and he's got 4 touchdowns in the game, and that ties the state record. Rushing TDs, we went back and checked the book. 4 in a game, Thomas Smith, Dewey Sweat, and Willie Rollison.
Watch Ken Taylor leading the way again. Woods is right behind him. His patience cuts back, and he's been cutting back all day. That particular move's been working for him successfully, so why not stay with it?
41-28. Hawks. Wong on for the PAT. Looked like Creston came through early. It's good, but Creston got a little excited and jumped. Oh, it's going to be Prestinger against Harrison. So that'll back him up 5, and they'll have to kick it over.
Larry, after the touchdown score.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, repeat the try.
After the touchdown score, Larry, I looked at the sideline for the Polar Bears, and those guys looked a bit dejected. I haven't seen them look like that all game. They usually were pretty jovial, moving around. Even when the Hawks had scored, they were saying, that's okay, we'll get it back. They're kind of standing around now.
Wong moving back 5, doesn't matter, puts it through for the PAT. And with 9:56 left in quarter 4, it's now 42-28 in favor of Farmington Hills Harrison. Special thanks to Saginaw Valley State University for their help with the stats of these MHSAA football championships. And there's a young man whose name right now is in the record books. Tied the record for the most rushing touchdowns in a game for Mr. Kevin Woods.
138 yards is a lot of yards, but the 4 touchdowns is astronomical for a state championship game.
And we've still got 9:56 left in this one. And there you take a look at the total yardage. Harrison at 364 tonight. Sims with the football. Doig wraps him up at the 29-yard line. And Kevin Woods, Stan Edwards, has had an outstanding day.
I mean, they've been running with him all year long, and they got to the dome, and they decided not to change nothing. It's just Kevin Woods basically getting most of his touchdowns off the left side of the line. He's running with that similar style, leaning forward, driving in. Kevin Woods, the man of the hour.
He's got to be a tired young man, but he's still got time remaining in this one. Brewster going to air it out down the right sideline. Oh, off the fingertips of his intended receiver. Had him stretched out there. That was Richard Gill. On the fingertips, maybe could have pulled it in, but didn't do it. Goes as an incomplete pass.
Oh, he had it there. He kind of short on it, but Sabayer's right there to make sure they didn't pull it in. But again, a great throw by Brewster. Brewster's been on target. And it's a great defensive play by Sabai, but a great throw also again by Brewster.
And Creston may be feeling the pressure that they've got to start throwing the football down by a couple of touchdowns. Brewster going to roll. He's got pressure. Doig is chasing him. Fires it downfield and over the outstretched arms of B.J. Haney.
Larry, I mentioned after that last score, I looked at the sideline for the Polar Bears and looked a bit dejected. And I'm looking at the first couple of plays they're calling now. 9:30 is still a long time. And 42 points seems like a lot, but when you got 28, you're only 2 scores behind. And I don't know if they really need to pull out all stops and try to get a quick score right now. They need to stay within the offense because they still have a lot of time.
There you see the numbers, a couple of interceptions, which has hurt the Polar Bears in this one. When you look Drew Terry, well, he's had a touchdown run this year of 92 yards. So don't forget number 22 in the offense. 3rd down and 10 for Grand Rapids Creston. Ball at their own 29-yard line. Brewster straight drop, pressure. Fires it on the screen pass to Terry. Terry right, Terry left, Terry stopped, Terry stood up. And it's Ryan Cole that comes up to make the stop, but he does get the first down to the 40-yard line.
Second time they've gone back to the middle screen. The first time they threw an interception. And what you want to do as a lineman, you want to let them in, all the defenders in, and let them think they beat you, got the quarterback, so it allows the lineman to get upfield and throw all the blocks they need for Drew Terry. You see him fighting for extra yardage. I think he got enough. He sure did enough for the first down.
Brewster taking his time coming up to the line of scrimmage. Terry really up close, about 3 yards behind the quarterback. Brewster to pass, gets hit as he throws, comes to the near sidelines and way out of bounds. And Brewster got smacked just as he let that one go. Flung it out to the left side, trying to hit Richard Gill.
Gill's a number we haven't called too often tonight. But Brewster dropped back to pass and throws a nice high spiral just out of the reach of Gill and a little bit out of bounds.
Marcus Mancata got back there and put the hit on Carlson just as he released that one. So Brewster may have a few bruises before this one's over. Going to pay the price because Harrison will come after him. Second down and 10. There's Terry. Wrong side again. Oh, and he tosses it up, and it's caught by Kevin Jackson. Just a prayer of flinging it up, but they're going to lose yardage.
Yes, they are.
Not as much as he would have on the sack back at about the 28-yard line. Oh, man.
Rejected Brewster. That's the second time that he had a mishandoff, a miscommunication with Terry. But as he's going, this is a very dangerous play right there. They're lucky they got it back and allowed them to even be in a position to have a third down play. When you have the ball in your non-throwing hand, which in this case was his left hand, and guys are slinging it to the ground, you kind of want to put the ball away and make sure you don't fumble it.
3rd and 16. Blitz is coming. Fires downfield and caught, and it should be good enough for the first down. There's Latham again. He's been their big-time receiver, and he got that one, and just enough, I believe, where the spot is. Well, I'm looking across the field. It's right at the 50-yard line. It should be good enough for the first.
I think it is
the chains.
Oh, no, they're giving it to him. It's in the first down.
Okay, good.
As a Heritage, the Hawks coaching staff, you got to be a little bit teed off right now. You got 3rd and 16, and you got pressure on him on the run. He throws it for a first down on 3rd and 16. Big time play for the Polar Bears.
Brewster gets hit as he throws again. Down to Haney, and couldn't come up with it. He was in a battle down there with Lou Hadley, and Haney had a shot at it, but couldn't come up with it.
He made a good adjustment to the ball because the ball was a bit underthrown, a little bit more back to the inside. And as Brewster comes from up under center, he's trying to go for the home run with Haney down the left side. But the ball was thrown a little bit to the inside, and the defender fell, but Haney made a great adjustment to come back and make a tremendous effort, but not being able to pull the ball in.
You know, I'm not so sure right now that those hits against Carlton Brewster aren't taking their toll, because I saw him raise one hand up to his chest area when he was looking to the sidelines for the play. He's gotten hit the last 2 or 3 times he's thrown the football just as he's released and hit hard. Hand off to Terry. Cuts to the right side. Nice block on the corner to get him a couple of yards out there. Coming back was Latham, who allowed him to move up. Ryan Cole with the stop, and now we got a yellow flag on the far sidelines. Could be a personal foul, and it is, and it's against Grand Rapids Creston.
Not when you're making the drive. You don't want to do that one.
Well, they need it 2nd and long or 3rd and long to convert the first down. They've done it the last 2 times.
It'd be interesting to see. I'm not really sure where it was. It was a tremendous block, as you mentioned, coming back. You see Terry cut to the line and cutting back to the right side. Watch number 88 get peeled right there. I don't think that should be. That's a clean block right there.
Foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's a dead ball. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. There was the late hit. Don't do that in front of a guy in a striped shirt. Brewster rolling left, fires, and Shabai almost got the interception. Had a shot at that one, stepped in front of Latham. And again, Shabai almost came up with the INT.
Shabai's been getting a lot of activity tonight, but I want to take my hat off to Latham on that play as well. because it should have been an interception. And Latham, a wide receiver, had to play defensive back on that play and prevent the interceptions. Shabai had a beat on it, but Latham stuck his hand in there and broke the pass up, making sure they at least have an opportunity on 4th down to get some field position to punt the ball away.
Well, I don't think they're going to punt it.
Oh, no, they're not.
And they've taken their time. I heard the whistle quite a while ago, and now let's see, the officials are going to stop the play.
Wow, Larry, 4th and 21.
And it's an official's timeout, or did they take time? Creston took time out, and here goes McEwen out to talk to his team on this big 4th down and 20 play.
I'd like to hear this on 4th and 21. What he's going to tell the guys.
Huh? Hold on. You gotta go let him know. Hold on. All right, you have to check in. Listen up. The ball's on their halves. Listen up. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Give them pro. Okay, Eric, you gotta do this right now, baby, all right? CB, if there's no safety in the middle of the field, Eric, you're gonna run a bear. Snap it to Carlton now. Don't fuck up, all right? If there's no safety, you got to put your helmet on, man. If there's no safety in the middle of the field, you're gonna run a bear. If there is a safety, listen, yes, we gotta go. If there is a safety in the middle of the field, look at me. I may call timeout, all right? It's gonna shift to the freaky dicky now.
Okay, he's got a play called, what he wants. He sees no safety in the middle of the field, but if there is one, they'll burn another timeout here. And Creston only has one remaining with 7:10 left. Gutsy call here on 4th down. Oh, they brought everybody off sides as they made a major shift. Did they ever? What was that?
I've seen this play before. When a line is not set, they're allowed to move and reset. But as a defensive lineman, if you're not paying attention, you think they're down in their stance. And they weren't. They're not on.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
I've seen Utica Eisenhower do this against Martin Luther King High School. What happens is the linemen are not down in their stance, which means they're not set. They can shift. But if you're not paying attention to their posture, you think they're ready to come off the ball. And as soon as you see movement, you're taught as a defensive lineman to go for it.
And now Farmington Hills Harrison will take time out. They said, wait a minute, maybe we better figure this out. We don't want to keep getting 5-yard penalties and give them a first down eventually. So they're going to come over to the sidelines and talk.
And so now it's 4th and 16 as opposed to 21.
A little bit closer. Every yard helps.
It sure does.
Well, they have pulled every trick out of the book in this game. We haven't seen the Statue of Liberty yet, though. You might see that one before it's over.
Yeah, we got 7 minutes left.
Maybe a little flea flicker somewhere along the way.
Or the old hook and lateral.
Yep. Anything is possible. We might see a guy come off the sidelines. You know, just standing over the sidelines and forget it.
Yeah.
I bet they might try that one. Get a guy all the way to the edge, but he's actually on the field.
Never leaves the field.
He never leaves the field. I mean, I'd believe it would happen in this game.
Yeah.
And maybe that comes a little bit from Sparky McEwen playing in the Arena Football League. Played quarterback for the Grand Rapids Rampage, and they do all sorts of crazy things in that league. But it's entertaining. Fourth and 16 now. After the timeout by Farmington Hills Harrison. They have trips to the near side, one wide receiver to the other. Here comes a blitz. Downfield. Oh! And he's going to go for the touchdown. They hit it on 4th and 16. Richard Gill with the reception, and they put the touchdown up 56 yards. Unbelievable. Oh, man.
That's a big-time play. Drop back, flood the zone, and just watch the man run by everybody. Now, that's a great throw by Brewster there. He had been hanging the ball up in the past couple of passes there. And you look at a man who has not had his name called pretty much the whole night. Richard Gill makes a big play.
Here's a big PAT to cut it to 7. Pringle up and good. And we're at a 7-point ball game with 7 minutes remaining.
Yeah. You watch the 3 wide set right there in that area, and they flooded, so they have the one guy stand right there Latham, and everybody kind of bid on him, and that allowed number 84 Gill to get behind the safety, wide open for the touchdown.
Brian Nelson tried to make the play, couldn't do it. He wound up on the turf, and that allowed Gill to go in for the touchdown from 56 yards out. And
as you mentioned, if Brewster had any kind of injury, he didn't show it on that play.
No, he didn't. He has hung in there tough because he has gotten hit time and time again in this last drive because Farmington Hills Harrison knew he was going to throw the football. And on 4th and 16, they don't just convert for a first down, they get a touchdown. And there's Brewster's stats in this game.
Those are good numbers.
There's a lot of good numbers in this game tonight. And one of the exciting numbers is up there on the scoreboard, 42-35 in favor of Farmington Hills Harrison. It's Sparky McEwen. You can tell all of a sudden a big sigh of relief. He's going, we dodged a bullet and we got the job done. We're back in this one.
I was watching him on that play, during that play, and as soon as the guy caught the ball, before even Gill got into the end zone, I just happened to look at him down the sideline. He never blinked. He never raised his hand, jumped. He figured it would happen.
Roberson and Woods back deep. Woods will get it at the 12-yard line. To the left. Little opening and a nice tackle out there by Creston Holman. And Farmington Hills Harrison with the football up by 7. And now they're going to be thinking about at least getting it downfield close enough for Chris Wong to kick a field goal to make it a 2-possession football game. Let's go down to the sidelines quickly to James Samuelson.
Larry, no doubt this is the biggest drive of the game for the Creston defense. The word on the sideline for Creston was believe, one stop. They think if they get that one stop, their offense can win this game, and who's going to argue with them tonight? Larry?
Thanks, Jamie. Hopefully my fertilizers will hang in there for a few more minutes tonight. Hand off to Kevin Woods. They try to move the pile out to the 36-yard line. Pick up a 3 for Mr. Woods, who's had a long and productive night.
Yes, he has, but I'm looking at the sideline right now, Larry, for the Creston Polar Bears, and they're a little bit excited again. They're starting to high-five each other. They feel they're back in the game. See if they can make a defensive stand here, and it'll get real interesting if they do at that point.
One of the big stats that's up there on the board is 1 timeout left for Creston. Harrison has 2. Lou Hadley's looked solid at quarterback tonight for the Hawks. Send Hall in motion. Pitch back, Woods coming to the near sidelines. Being stretched out, turns it back in, and he is stopped. Keith Cunningham comes up, did not let him turn the corner. And he'll be at the 39-yard line and bring up a big 3rd down and 4 now for the Hawks.
Toss sweeps to the Woods to the right, and he tried to use his speed to get outside. But as you can see, 2 defenders for the Polar Bears are out there waiting for him to try to make him turn back upfield. Might want to try to push him out of bounds to kind of stop that clock, because we got about 5 minutes and 33 seconds left.
A big 3rd down play for Harrison. Polar Bear crowd on their feet trying to make some noise. Power high formation. Hadley back to pass, being chased, rolls left, under pressure, turns up, and won't get the first down. He tried to stretch. He is about a yard short. Alonzo Williams running him out of bounds on the far sidelines. He stretched it out, but it's going to be 4th and 1.
I think they're going to go for it. Don't want to put the ball back in the Polar Bears' hands.
Yeah, but you don't want to turn it over here in your own territory. You've got to punt the football downfield. Or maybe you can draw them off sides and get the 5 yards and the first down. Because you know the Polar Bears are going to be coming after this one.
Yes, they are.
Ryan Nelson standing back in his own 28-yard line. Good snap. They don't come after him. They got the return off. And it rolls on the ground. Picked up by Haney, and he is stopped at the 11-yard line. He went backwards the wrong way, and Lou Hadley got downfield to put the hit on him. 5 minutes so still left, a 44-yard punt and no return, so plenty of time for the Polar Bears to get downfield, and they don't have to do it exclusively through the air.
You see Haney there talking with Latham, one thing you want to do as a punt returner, you always want to feel the football. That ball takes some real funny bounces. A lot of times it could be not your way. But he should have fair caught that ball to call it and try to run it, make sure they get better field position than they have right now. They got a long way to go to the end zone in 5 minutes to do it.
Carlton Brewster with Terry right behind it. Hand off to Terry. Tries to stretch it out on the corner and will not be able to turn out on the left side. And Lou Hadley out there to make the stop. He's done the job offensively at quarterback, and now he wants to come up big on the defensive side.
As a punt returner, you want to make sure you feel the ball. You couldn't really tell it, but it bounced very close to Latham, where I think he should have probably picked it up and ran for it, because he was in a lot better position than Haney is. And Haney picks up the ball and he's got defenders all over him. Field position is at the utmost right here. As you can see, he's right there, and he says, no, I don't think so. Then he watches it bounce and lose another 10 to 12 yards right there. And Haney's got to make the best of it he can in a bad situation.
Brewster rolling left, tosses it downfield and almost intercepted. He put up a lame duck, and Brian Nelson dove for it and almost picked it off. And Brewster should have just hung on that one, but he didn't want to get up the yardage with the sack.
Yeah, no, Brewster's taking a lot of chances tonight. And he's gotten this far. I think the whistle had blown because maybe his knee was down. Knee was down prior to him throwing. As you can see, he cocks back to throw. And actually, he wasn't down. He was right at the top of it, man. He was very close, but the referee thought he was down and blew the whistle.
3rd and 10. Well, they've been in this situation a lot. 3:38, and the clock continues to tick. Brewster drops, and he isn't going to get that one off. He is stuffed right up the middle, and guess who? It's the big guy that's been playing fullback all day long, Kent Taylor. Now on defense, comes up big on the sack.
Oh, Kent Taylor's been doing a yeoman's job on offense, but that lick he put on the game may just change the whole complex of the game. You're looking at, now they're looking at a 4th down and about 15 or 16, and yeah, they're going to have to punt it, but a tremendous hit by Taylor. See him coming in, he beats a man off the line of scrimmage. And, oh my God, I'm surprised Brewster got up off of that one.
Haney is back to punt it, but you never know with this team. Well, 4th and 18. They got a touchdown last time. It was 4th and 16. It's going to be a delay of game. They took too much time. It'll cost them half the distance to the goal line. Or they got 5 yards, don't they? They've got 5 yards. They can walk it off.
Yeah, I think they do.
Got it down to about the 3.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Offense. Still 4th down.
Haney's back to punt now. He's got to make sure he doesn't step on that end line. Safety if he does.
Well, he's had 2 punts today, 28 and 33 yards. High snap, puts his foot into it, hangs it high. Fair catch caught for, and Woods has it at the 30-yard line. 2:38 left in this one. 7-point ball game. Can Farmington Hills Harrison hang on? We'll be right back. There you see the score, 2:38 remaining. Farmington Hills Harrison on top by 7. Well, your Sunday viewing lineup looks like this. Kicks off with NFL this morning at 11 a.m. At 2:30, it's the Red Wings and Coyotes. In the evening, Sunday night fights going deep in Fox Sports News primetime. All tomorrow on Fox Sports Net. Woods. A hole for a moment. Shut down at the 27, but the clock keeps moving. And again, remember that Creston has only 1 time out. And that's going to hurt them. They've got to make a couple of stops here and then maybe use that final timeout to save them some time, down by 7.
You got to gamble. What you're going to have to do now is do some run blitzes, fill all the gaps, have the first man come in and make the sure tackle. The second man must come in and try to strip the football out.
Well, you know it's going to go to Kevin Woods every time. They're going to keep it on the ground. Woods again. Woods stopped in the backfield. Great tackle by Ahmad Sims. And they will burn their final timeout with 1:53 left. So the Polar Bears, no timeouts remaining. 1:53 left. It is 3rd down and 8 for Farmington Hills Harrison. There's Sparky McEwen. He's telling his defense, get the ball back for our offense.
He says, we're okay, we'll get it done. But what they have to do now is make sure they make the tackle. What a lot of teams tend to do in this situation is is try to strip the football first without making the sure tackle. You're too close to the goal line. If you miss Kevin Woods in this area here, he's in the end zone. The first and the second tackler have to come in and secure the tackle. Second and third man can come in and try to strip the football out.
Coming up on Fox News tonight, MSU down in Puerto Rico. See if they keep rolling along. Other college hoop action. Of course, Michigan played this afternoon against Western Michigan.
Go Blue.
See highlights of that. They were big winners. Football highlights also from around the nation. Some big college football games played. We're getting ready for another day of NFL football on Fox. All of that this evening on Fox Sports News. Following this game tonight, that is, if we get it done and we don't go to overtime.
Which is a distinct possibility.
Now there's a sign, kick it long, Wong, and this is going to be interesting. They only get the first down. Chris Wong has kicked over 50 yards. It's going to be a long field goal attempt. We'll make it a 2-possession game. Do you kick a field goal or do you go for it? It might be a moot point after this play. We'll wait and see. Woods on the pitch. Left side. Breaks the tackle, moves the pile, but he's short of the first down.
He's short.
And now Grand Rapids Creston wants to get up off the pile as quickly as possible so they can set the ball. Clock keeps moving. It's now 4th down and around 1, and they moved it closer, though. Wong now would be kicking about a 38-yard field goal if they want to try it. Or do you go on 4th and 1, turn it over, and figure they've got to go about 80 yards for a score?
I kick a field goal. I kick a field goal.
Well, you've got a great field goal kicker in Chris Wong, but he's only 5 of 8 in the field goal department, while he was 40 of 44 coming in on the point after.
But I'm up here in the press box, and they're going for it.
4th and 2.
Oh,
and they blow it dead, and that's
good.
Movement. Movement, and it is illegal procedure. And now they were close enough to kick the field goal. They're moving back 5. Now you've got to go 7 yards.
Delay the game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Now we're about a 45-yarder.
Well, Chris Wong is coming on to try the field goal attempt.
He's kicked them before, but I'm not sure if he's kicked them from this distance in this kind of pressure. You're in the championship game. You're up by a touchdown. And you got 1 minute 4 seconds left. He knows if he misses, he's going to get an opportunity to come back and score and tie the game.
It's going to be about 46 yards. Brad Tucker's the holder. Low snap. And it is short. 57 seconds left. Now the ball comes out to the 20-yard line. So Creston has to go 80 yards.
Good follow through. Wong kept his head down and everything. If it was going to be, if it was going to make it, it was going to be barely make it, but it was, if you can look, it's probably about, oh my God, maybe a yard short.
Stan, think of the 5-yard penalty on 4th down. 5 yards closer, he may get it through the uprights. It would be a 10-point lead, and you take Creston away from really any chance of winning this game. Now they've got 57 seconds, no timeouts. They got a guy that can't throw the football, and you know that's what they're going to do with 4 wide receivers. Brewster, straight drop, quick toss, and it's short.
Not a good throw by Brewster, but even if it is a good throw, as the Creston wide receivers have to play a smart game. You got to get as much yards you possibly get, and you got to get out of bounds. You have no timeouts left. You got high school linemen generally don't get down over the ball as well, particularly if you pass it downfield to do the spike play to stop the clock. So the receivers, when they catch the ball, they got to get downfield and make sure you get as much yards you can, particularly in certain situations, get the first down first and then get out of bounds.
Farmington Hills Harrison takes a timeout to talk things over defensively. 80 yards, that's how far Creston must go to get a score into the end zone. That's Sparky McEwen out on the field talking to his team as he's done all day. He's firing up. He believes they can get the job done. See him out there now. Very positive attitude all night long from this young head football coach. His team has bought into his program, no question about that. Ron Harrington on the other side. He's been here before. 8 times a state champion in his brilliant career. Looking for number 9. He's got to survive 52 seconds.
See, I don't know if I'm Harrington this far away. Do I call a timeout and allow the Polar Bear offense to kind of get set and get a play. They could even have a trick play plan, but this way they get a chance to talk about it and find out what they want to do.
Brewster, quick out, and they're going to tackle him in the field of play. That's not where they want to do it. He cut into the middle. B.J. Haney, he's got to go to the sidelines. Clock ticking down to 40 seconds. We're getting a play from the sideline. He's got to go right to the line of scrimmage. What play? Go deep.
And it's third down.
Right, go deep. Quick out to Haney again, and he steps out of bounds, and he had the first down anyway. Would have stopped the clock, but now they'll get a little more time even after they move the chains. 28 seconds left, but little chunks like that's not going to get the job done. They've got to go downfield.
Yeah.
See Brewster over on the sidelines, getting the instructions from the head coach.
If you throw a long play 20 yards or more, you have to tell the lineman when the ball's in the air, you have to start downfield, because if it's caught and he doesn't have an opportunity to get out of bounds, you got to be in position to get up and spike the ball or run another play.
Well, as long as they get it first down, of course, the clock will stop until the chains are set. Brewster, quick out, and threw it behind his intended receiver. He had some pressure coming up the middle, but again, that would not have been far enough downfield for a first down, which would have stopped the clock on the movement of chains or near the sidelines. They're throwing towards the middle of the field.
The route should at least be 10 yards, because if you get a first down, even if you're not in position to get out of bounds, it does stop the clock, as you mentioned.
Second down and 10, 24 seconds left, with Harrison leading 42-35. Mr. Brewster would love to have those 2 interceptions back today. Straight drop, now has to roll, being chased by Taylor. Now he's on the run. He's got the first down. Going to head to the sideline.
Oh, he doesn't make it.
Doesn't matter. It's a first down, so the clock will stop. Sparky McEwen shouting out the play, says get to the line of scrimmage.
They did a good job by getting set. They're there. They're there.
17-yard run.
He wanted to spike the ball. Lineman's got to be set.
And they are, and they'll spike the football.
Good job by the offensive line. Good job.
11 seconds left. Well, he took off, and again, once he got the first down yardage, I thought to myself, go down, young man, because the clock will stop. He kept running, and then he veered towards the sidelines, but they stopped on the gain of 17 until they moved the chains.
You got a chance for 2 plays here. You got 11 seconds. What you want to do is throw deep, but you want to have a safety valve who's running an out route at least 10 yards to get you a little bit closer to the end zone. You might not be able to get to the end zone from this point, but you want to get a little bit closer, and that man has to get out of bounds.
Quick toss, Haney out of bounds, 7 seconds. Maybe 2 more plays, but they've got to find someone to go deep. They can't nickel and dime.
No, they can't.
They're 45 yards away from the end zone now.
You got to have 2 options. You got it. They're obviously going to run the out again, but you got to be prepared for the Harrington defense to come up and try to play that out and have somebody going in out now.
The only thing is, if you go deep, the game's over, because you've got to connect for a touchdown. To run a long route, it's going to take the 7 seconds. Brewster, quick out, far side.
Out of bounds.
Got to get out of bounds.
Got a first down.
And the clock will stop with 1 second. Oh, man.
What kind of drama did you want to ask for? Is that how you end the championship game?
Richard Gill got a touchdown, caught that one, and now it's the Hail Mary.
I was in the stands when Colorado was at Michigan.
So was I. I was calling the game.
Exactly. Oh, boy, you called the Hail Mary, didn't you, Larry?
Yes, I did.
When Cordell Stewart dropped back to throw that ball, I didn't think it was going to make it. It just kept rising. You could see an instant replay right now.
65 yards through the air that day. Here it goes. Brewster back to pass, throws it as far as they can. It's going to be a jump ball in the end zone.
Oh!
And through the hands of Gill, and Farmington Hills Harrison, for the 3rd consecutive year, state champions here in Michigan. What a great effort, though, for Grand Rapids Creston. They are heartbroken at the moment, but they hung in their first time ever in the playoffs. They get to the state championship game, and they come oh so close against the team. Well, they might as well set up housekeeping here at the Silverdome.
It seems like it's their second home.
What a great game, and it came down, as so many of these have this weekend, the very final play.
Talk about drama. And we talked about him taking little small chunks and getting downfield. Look at that. And he threw a nice one. The ball was there. He was in position to make a play.
Gill was down there under it, but they've got some defensive pressure coming over. Brian Nelson was in the area and knocked it away. That's as close as you can come. Farmington Hills Harrison, state champions again. Farmington Hills Harrison, the winner tonight over Grand Rapids Creston, 42-35. And you see, well, I'm not sure it's total elation. Someone is going, we survived this win against a great Grand Rapids Creston team. And now it's time for the presentation of the trophies. And this young man has done a great job coaching the Polar Bears.
Yes,
It's Charles Sparky McEwen.
Yes, he has. You talk about high school football. This is what it's all about.
Gets them into the state finals, to the championship game after years of 2-7, 3-6, and 2-7. They go 12-1 today. And the Creston fans, well, as the coach goes out to get the runners-up trophy, they applaud it. Why not?
Oh, but that team is definitely not a loser. You talk about a team that come out of nowhere, come to the championship game prepared. You're talking about Sparky McEwen and his coaching staff, not only working with his players from the head down, working them with their head up. Their attitude is better. Those guys come to play. And you talk about a whole turnaround. It goes to show you when you take a program and you put the right people in place to do the right things, what can happen. Now you talk about the standard in high school football in the state of Michigan. Farmington Hills Harrison. Coach Harrington again standing at the middle of the field, hoisting up a state championship trophy.
18 times they've been in the playoffs. They have now won it 9 times. 50% of the time when they make the playoffs, they have come home state champions. 6 times now in the 90s. 91, 93, 94, and now 3 in a row, 97, 98, and 99. You got Kevin Woods in there holding the trophy. And big Kent Taylor, what a game he had at fullback. He led the way for Woods, scored a touchdown of his own, grabbed a pass for a 2-point conversion, and made a spectacular catch also for his team. There he is, the big fullback. He played a whale of a game.
Yes, he did, and he was, actually, in my opinion, Larry, that is your MVP of the Farmington Harrison Hawks.
Our next MHSAA action is Saturday with all 4 championship games and the girls basketball tournament for Mount Pleasant. Our live coverage begins at 11 a.m. Now for our Fox Sports Net crew, I'm Larry Henry saying so long from the Pontiac Silverdome. Once again, the final score in Division III, Grand Rapids Creston losing to Farmington Hills Harrison 42-35. You've been watching high school football on Fox Sports Net, your exclusive television home of MHSAA football and basketball championship. Thanks for joining us all weekend long. Now stay tuned for Fox Sports News coming up next.